qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Paid for by UpLevel Rewards. Some deals may require the purchase of products, services, or subscriptions. Visit NovemberCash50.com for program requirements. Other restrictions and instructions to claim reward. Act report trail.
Hey, where did you get all that cash?
You mean this $750?
Yes, that $750. Where did you get all that cash?
Since it's November, I went to NovemberCash44.com and got $750.
You got $750?
Yes. Just go to NovemberCash44.com this month and follow the simple instructions on the site. Once you finish, the $750 is yours.
It's that easy to get $750?
It is, but only in November. You just answer the basic questions on the site, complete the deals they show you, and get $750 sent to your Venmo or PayPal.
I'm always short on cash. I'm going to NovemberCash44.com right now to get my $750.
Ready to get your $750? Get started right now at NovemberCash44.com. Remember, this offer is only valid in November, so go to NovemberCash44.com. Just go to NovemberCash44.com. Follow the simple instructions and get your $750. Go to NovemberCash44.com. That's NovemberCash44.com. Don't wait, it's this month only. Go to NovemberCash44.com. NovemberCash44.com.
Does your current trophy wife want a life insurance policy 3 times the size of your previous mistakes? Relax and call Big Lou at Term Provider. Big Lou says if you're in your 50s, even a bit porky, a $1 million term life policy should only cost about $200 to $300 per month. Call Big Lou at 800-529-2856. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He likes trophies too. For affordable life insurance, call 800-529-2856.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
It's time to get up and get your day started.
Morant. Oh! A jawbreaker!
It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
They get up every morning from the long clocks, warning, take the 8:15 into the city. There's a whistle up above and people pushing.
Bit of an ugly start to our Friday with a little rain outside, but it's Friday, right? It's Friday, the weekend just about here. We're going to get you set up for the sports weekend over the next 3 hours as we bring you another edition of Sports 56 Mornings, the Friday, November 10th, 2023 edition. To be exact, Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you. We are inside the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Their overstock sale continues with deals on everything. Pool tables, game rooms, saunas, massage chairs, arcades, theater seating. Anything you could think of, they have it for you, and they have it on sale with their overstock sale at Family Leisure. First hour of the program brought to you by our friends at East Memphis Ace Hardware. Lots going on in the world of sports. Busy Friday, and we will talk about it here on the program today. John Varlas will join us at 7:25 as prep football is in the postseason. We will get the latest. Tennessee kicked off the playoffs last week. Mississippi, I believe, begins tonight. We'll talk to John about who won last week, who's moving on, the big matchups, and if you have a game you'd like John to talk about or a team in particular, 901-360-8255. Text in, and John will answer those questions for you, 901-360-8255. At 8:25, we'll talk Grizzlies with Parker Fleming, and then at 9:05, the handicapper extraordinaire Brandon Lang will break down some of the college football and NFL games coming up this weekend. Then at about 9:30, we'll play 10 in a row. We'll give you a chance to win a great prize package. It is the game show that has swept the nation. And then at about 10 o'clock, we'll say sayonara. We'll get on out of here, hand things over to Dave Voloshin. Again, that 901-360-8255 number is our Sports 56 listener line. You can call in during open segments, and you can text in as well. The Memphis Tigers on the road tonight. Huge early season non-conference battle against SEC foe Missouri. We have the Memphis Grizzlies, and the in-season tournament continues tonight against the Utah Jazz at FedEx Forum. We have Memphis football. They'll head out to Charlotte today to play the 49ers tomorrow. Ole Miss heading down to Athens to take on Georgia. We had some college football action last night. A little NFL to kick off the new week. We will discuss that on the program today. And could hear some news on Michigan and possible penalties, maybe, against the University of Michigan for that whole sign-stealing deal that could be this afternoon. So, of course, keep it right here on Sports 56, and we'll keep you posted with all that information. That's the lineup for today. Kick back, relax, and enjoy. How are you, man?
I am great. Happy Friday to everybody. You forgot to mention the Memphis Hustle tip off their season tonight. It's every basketball team.
Oh, do
is
they
in
really?
action.
I didn't know that. New season for the voice of the Memphis Hustle, my partner Eli Savoy and John Roser. So that's fantastic. Who do they play tonight?
They play Rio Grande Valley tonight and tomorrow night.
So your chance to really watch a young man who they have high hopes for. Young man, 18 years of age, G.G. Jackson.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing G.G. and what he's able to do in the G League. It works out well for him. I mean, there's all kinds of crossover there. Hopefully by the end, it'll be the G.G. League.
The G League. Right now it's 48 degrees and raining, as I said. Not a good start to the Friday weather-wise, but it's not going to be an all-day rain affair, at least not from what I'm reading. Sunshine, clouds mixed. High will get into the low 60s, about 61. Tonight, a few clouds with a low of about 45, and then tomorrow, considerable clouds early, some decrease in clouds later in the day. We're looking at a high of 63 for your Saturday. All right, so with the Hustle opening up play tonight and the Grizzlies playing, the Grizzlies' already deleted roster is going to really...
Deleted roster?
Well, not deleted, but depleted. Will look even more depleted depending on who's playing for the Hustle and who's in uniform as far as the two-way guys for the Memphis Grizzlies. But the Grizzlies will play the Utah Jazz. They lost to the Utah Jazz already once this year in Salt Lake City. It is not a good Utah team. They're 2-7. Walker Kessler's out. They do have some good components, though. The Grizzlies, though, are 1-7. And it is part of the in-season tournament for those who care. Here is the MASH unit list for you for Memphis. Jake LaRavia, doubtful with a left toe contusion. Questionable, John Conchar with a right hip strain. Zaire Williams with a left hip strain. Out, Xavier Tillman, Derrick Rose, of course, Brandon Clark, Steven Adams, who's out for the year, John Morant, who's suspended. The list goes on and on and on. But to just bring up injuries would be an excuse that you don't want to hear. It's part of the game. It's part of all sports. Injuries happen. There's not much you can do about it. It's not a woe is me situation. So you move on, you trudge on, you hope to win some games. They hit the road again after this one tonight. They go out to Los Angeles. So this is one, if you're going to tread water, and right now they're half drowning. But if you're going to tread water, you better win the game tonight.
Yeah, Utah is a team that you should beat on your home floor. And going on the road out west, certainly you don't want to go out there with a couple of back-to-back road loss or home losses to go into that trip. So, yes, it is a game that you really would like to win. Now, the last matchup with Utah, they went berserk from three-point range, and really the game was over in the first quarter when the Grizzlies were down 20 already or whatever it was at the end of the first quarter, or blown out in the first half and never had a chance in that game. Certainly can't let that happen again. Wouldn't think that Utah could possibly shoot that well again. What they did, I think, were 8 of 10 from three in the first quarter of that game. So need a much better defensive effort. Of course, the offense has struggled. Maybe if everything can kind of come together tonight, turn in a nice, strong effort, get a win, and then head out on the road and see what you can do, and hopefully maybe steal one or two out on the road.
While the Grizz are playing tonight at FedEx Forum and the Hustle are playing in South Haven at the Lander Center, the Memphis Tigers will play their first road game on the college hardwood in Columbia, Missouri against the Missouri Tigers. The Missouri Tigers are favored by 3.5 points in this battle of 1-0 teams. 8 p.m. tip, SEC Network. It'll be the first trip from Memphis to Columbia. since a game I did back on December 14th, 2002, where Memphis fell 93-78. Missouri was ranked at that time. Memphis was not. Leading scorer for the Tigers, by the way, the Memphis Tigers, our buddy Billy Richmond from the Wing Guru. He was the leading scorer. Now it's all about Billy Richmond's son. But the game will be played at the Mizzou Arena. We know that they have a contingent of students that are known as the Antlers, and they are great. You want them rooting for your team because they are nonstop against the opponent. Really, they are innovative and fun and loud, and it will be a challenge for Memphis. Missouri beat Arkansas Pine Bluff this past Monday, 101-79. Of course, Memphis beat Jackson State 94-77. I'm not sure if there'll be a tweak in the starting lineup. We know that Monday's lineup was a little surprising with Jordan Brown and Caleb Mills coming off the bench, and Penny talked about it later in the week, even though he wasn't coaching the team. It was his decision to change up that lineup because he wanted more of a motor, and he wasn't getting that necessarily from those guys. But it wouldn't be a surprise if he switched back and one or both were back in the starting lineup. And I don't want to say back in the starting lineup, but from what we saw with the preseason games, the exhibition games. So this could be something ongoing throughout the year where he kind of twitters around a little bit, not a bad word, twitters, but he tinkers around with the starting lineup. Again, the starting lineup is the starting lineup. Who's in there in crunch time, finishing a game that's a close game is what's important, and they have a lot of options. So this is one that can really be a scene setter for the year if they can go out to Columbia and get a dub.
Yeah, I mean, with this being a true road game, this is will likely be a quad one game for the Tigers. If they could go get a win, that would be huge for them. It's the Bill Laurie Bowl. Be nice if Bill just put up like a $20 million donation for the winning team. You put something on the line for this game.
$20 million goes to your NIL or just to the facilities and things of that nature. We know
to the program.
We know Bill's already
to the
given
program.
a lot of money to both programs, but yeah, that would be nice. Who knows? But as far as quad one, big win, scene setter for the year, I mean, this is really important. It's not the end of the world if they lose the game. Again, the guys and gals out in Vegas think the Memphis Tigers will lose this game. Mizzou is a 3.5-point favorite. They are the home team. They got a great home court advantage. And they're good. They're a good team, good, well-rounded team. Memphis is a good team as well. They're a deep team, but will they click on all cylinders in Game 2? Because they certainly didn't click on all cylinders in Game 1. We'll have a lot to talk about on Monday when it comes to Memphis basketball after what happens tonight. In the meantime, Friday is loaded with college basketball action, including a big one between Arizona and Duke. Arizona number 12, Duke number 2. They will go at it with Duke a 5.5-point favorite, and then a lot of other top 25 teams in action and teams outside the top 25. So a busy Friday, and that will continue on to Saturday.
It's this is that get the Arizona Duke. College basketball needs. It's just weird. The college basketball season is weird because the season starts and there's nothing to it. I don't think most people even know or care that college basketball starts. There's no fanfare whatsoever for opening night of college basketball like there is seemingly in every other sport.
Right. We had the quasi opening night on Monday, but pretty much, as you said, without fanfare. Most of the big name teams are playing inferior opponents. I think the season starts way too early. Now, I don't know how I would adjust it. They play long seasons, but it does seem like you're lost in the sauce because you have college football and the importance of November college football games. And the NBA is off and rolling. You just came off the World Series. It's kind of lost for a while until maybe you get to the holidays. We got the bowl games, but really after the 1st of January is when things start to really click for basketball. and we gain momentum when we get into conference play. There's big non-conference games like this Arizona and Duke game, but there's not a ton of them like there used to be. There's those tournaments as well around Thanksgiving and even around Christmas, and sometimes, unfortunately, they're taken with a grain of salt. So I agree with you. It's kind of, it's out there, it's going on. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people do know, and they just don't care right now because it's so early. One basketball loss is not making the difference in your season, whereas a big football loss could.
No, there's no doubt. But and it would, like, to me, like, some of these big games need to be opening night. Like, you need to have something about opening night.
I agree.
To make people, because a bunch of 40-point wins, I mean, yeah, you get the upset of Michigan State, but okay, if you had, because next week we'll get the whole Champions Classic, we get some of these, you start getting some of these matchups, but to me, some of this stuff needs, like, give me something on opening night of a top 10 matchup, or at least two premier programs matched up against each other. Don't give it to me on the 10th day of the season. Like, give me something to, like, hey, everybody, look, college basketball is here. We got Duke versus Arizona. Like, give me something on opening night to say, hey, we're here, the season's starting.
I hear you, and I agree with you, but it's not going to happen because most of these schools, if not all these schools, want a game under their belt. They want a game in which they go in there, see what their team's all about, tweak things if they have to, and if it's the second game, like in the example of Duke and Arizona, then they can tweak and they know what they're doing and they're ready to go for that second game. Nobody wants to play that big game to open the season. They're not even doing it as much in college football as they did in years past. I like what the NBA does. The NBA has a few games on opening night, and then the rest of the teams begin in earnest the next day. But you have those marquee games, the doubleheader that they have, to tell everyone, hey, we're open for business. It's the start of the NBA regular season. That's another thing, too. You don't have exhibitions in college football, even though I think some schools would love to have that, to have a scrimmage that they can have before they open the season, but they don't. So you know when it's college football. These games are real. In basketball, even the NBA, but more so in college basketball, it's like, wait a minute. They're playing this team I've never heard of. Is this an exhibition game or is this a real game? So it kind of intertwines the regular season, the end of the exhibition season, the preseason, if you will, and then the start of the regular season.
But that's the whole point. Like, you have exhibitions. That's even more reason that you can play a good game in game one.
Yeah.
Because you actually have a couple of games under your belt.
I'm in agreement.
Where college football does the matchups, and they haven't done anything yet.
No, we're on the same page with this, but I'm just trying to get into the head of the coaches, and I'm thinking they want one real game under their belt, at least one, before they dive into any serious competition. The women's basketball is underway as well. We had that shocking loss by LSU to open up the season. Last night, UT lost to Florida State. They lost by the score of 92-91 in a battle of ranked teams. Lady Vols number 11, Florida State number 18. The Lady Vols will host the Memphis Tigers on Monday night at Thompson Bowling. Memphis winning last night. Congratulations to Coach Alex Simmons. She gets her first dub as the head coach of the Memphis women's team, and they win going away 95-51 over Alabama State. Maddie Griggs leading the way with 18. Down in Oxford, not as fortunate were the Lady Rebs, or the Rebels. I don't know if they go by Lady Rebs, but the 12th ranked team in the nation got beat at home by Oklahoma 80-70.
See, women's college basketball actually gets it. Like, you get all these matchups early in the year.
They
like
get
last
going,
night, you had the top 10 matchup with Iowa and Virginia Tech with Caitlin Clark doing her thing. Like, they get like crazy matchups early in the year of Power 5 schools, everything else. And I'll tell you, Caitlin Clark,
44 points.
She is the most entertaining basketball player to watch in college right now, men or women. She is incredible.
Well, she's basically the whole team. I mean, they got some other players, whereas LSU, Angel Reese was fantastic, and they had other quality players. But Angel had the right to be able to talk the way she did because they won. The ultimate is the win by the team, not by the individual player. Caitlin Clark is unbelievable. Angel Reese, LSU got the win, so they got the last laugh. But yeah, Caitlin Clark is a fun player to watch. 44. That was game 1 for them, correct? Or was it game 2?
I don't know. I assume it was probably game 2.
Yeah, either way, 44 points. NFL last night, the new week kicked off. I'm sure everybody was at the edge of their seats to watch Carolina and Chicago. And in the end, the Bears, they win one for the late Dick Butkus. 16-13 in a defensive battle. The Bears 3-7. The Carolina Panthers 1-8. Carolina gets a special teams touchdown. Still not getting much from Bryce Young. Justin Fields did not play for the Bears. So the Bears with the win. So Carolina's 1-8. I don't have the standings in front of me. Are they looking at right now the odds-on favorite to be the number 1 pick?
Well, them and Arizona both have one.
Arizona,
win.
okay,
So
Arizona.
See how it plays out between those two, but it was a big win for the Bears to keep Carolina at 1 win, and it helps their chances at getting that number 1 overall pick. Do
they own that pick? They have
yes,
2 number
the Bears
1s.
have both those picks.
They have theirs and they have Carolina's.
Yes.
Okay.
That game was you can tell the meaning of a game when Eddie Pinheiro, the kicker for Carolina, which I still can't believe they tried the 59-yard field goal because they had to know he wasn't going to be able to get it there. But when the kicker misses the game-tying field goal with like a minute and a half left in the game, and his reaction is to look at the sideline and give the shoulder shrug emoji.
What are you going to do?
He's like, yeah, I tried. Sorry. It was almost like he probably was like, I told you I couldn't make a 59-yarder. Like, you guys sent me out here. I told you. Sorry. It was just so funny. Like, I've never seen a kicker with that reaction. Just look at the sideline, shrug your shoulders, and go, sorry, tried. Hey.
What did he do?
So we lost again. Who cares?
The Michael Jordan thing? That kind of a shrug?
Yeah, he was kind of like, hey, I tried. So what? We lost again. Who cares? Like, this doesn't really matter. Like, we weren't. If I made the kick, who cares? I would have just made us play overtime. Did anybody really want to play overtime in this game? But no, that was a. Bryce Young has really no chance. He is pressured on just about every pass attempt, and he just doesn't have anybody to throw the ball to. Like, he is in a really tough situation. Everybody's comparing him to Stroud, and Stroud's putting up these massive numbers. But, I mean, that offense has nobody around him at all. Like, he's pretty much out there on his own. First of all, just trying to survive. He's not a big guy to begin with, and he's literally under pressure on every play. And then he just, like, there aren't a lot of receivers that he has that are going to create a bunch of space for him to throw to.
It's unfair right now to compare, or not even compare, just to proclaim that they made a mistake. I'm talking about Carolina Panthers fans. We made a mistake. We should have taken C.J. Stroud and not Bryce Young. In the long run, maybe they will have made a mistake. But right now, even though Stroud is crushing it, as you said, for those reasons and more, you can't blame Bryce Young solely. But I'd like to see next year, hopefully for his sake, they go out, they improve that offensive line, get some weapons for him, because it still goes back to, is the guy big enough? That was the big question after the season last year as he's getting ready for the camp and going to the combine and all that was, is he tall enough? Well, Carolina felt he was, but this has nothing to do with his height, right now at least, because he's getting clobbered. I don't care if he was 6'8", he'd still be getting clobbered. But I want to see if they ever get the weapons for him to make that comparison, because right now it's hard to say, oh, it was a horrible pick. Bryce Young was great at Alabama, and he was the number 1 quarterback coming in. He was the number 1 pick. It makes perfect sense why they took him. I'm not ready to come up with a final narrative on Bryce Young and his NFL career after a half a season so far.
Drew Texan says, when ESPN got rid of the 24-hour thing, it killed the opening of college basketball. That was a fun thing that they did, that at least brought some attention to, hey, it's the opening day of college basketball. Literally, if you turned on ESPN at any point during that day, you saw college basketball. So that was a fun thing that they did that, yes, at least brought some attention to the fact that, hey, college basketball season is here, rather than just a bunch of total mismatches that a couple are televised and nobody cares about them anyway because they end up being 40-point games. Raider Corey says, in your opinion, do you think the winner of tonight's Tigers game could sneak into the top 25? Well, the problem is, again, because you don't get a whole lot of great matchups, there's not going to probably be a whole lot of top 25 teams losing to fall out of the top 25. So it will just depend on, are there any of those teams, 20 through 25 that lose games this week? But again, with the most of the matchups you get, it's hard for top 25 teams to lose. I don't know if others outside of Michigan State, I don't know if any other top 25 team has lost yet this season.
Yeah, look, if Missouri was ranked, let's say they were like number 22, number 23, Memphis went into Columbia, won that game. There were a couple of losses in the top 25. That's a possibility, but these are two teams outside the top 25, and I don't see, as you said, this massive amount of teams that are ranked right now losing. So I think it'll be tough, but it will grab the attention of voters. There is no question about that would be the trajectory that you want. I don't know if
I assume Mizzou's getting some votes, but I don't know.
I didn't see after the top 25 when it came out, the preseason top 25, and I'm not sure. Did they have a new one like this week? And the season started Monday, so I would imagine the next one is Monday of next week or Sunday, whenever it comes out.
And Memphis had 7 votes. Missouri had 6. So Memphis actually is getting more votes, one more vote. And
that was the preseason top 25?
Yes.
Okay.
And again, I don't.
How many teams are ahead of them, like that are not in the top 25 that are getting votes? Are there a bunch of teams?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's tough to kind of maneuver your way through, but it will certainly put them right out there in the minds of voters. That would be a nice.
It would mean more for Memphis because it being a road win.
Yes,
than it
that's
would
what
for
I'm saying.
Missouri.
Yes.
But yeah, again, it's what those teams lose. I don't know if there's a top 25 team that's lost other than Michigan. Certainly those ones at the bottom of the top 25.
Michigan State, right? Yeah, Michigan State's loss, and yeah, I'm trying to remember if there's any other ones that were big upsets. There's another team that lost, and there were a couple of near misses. But yeah, I don't know, but that'll at least put them in the trajectory that we want, moving up. All right, we need to take a timeout. When we come back, we turn our attention to prep football and the prep football playoffs. John Varlas from the Daily Memphian will join us. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just one pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
Genesis Diamond's first ever 3-day store-wide sale is this weekend. 3 days of mind-blowing savings, up to 35% off. Earrings, bracelets, bands, pendants, plus thousands of engagement rings, all on sale. Designer jewelry has been flown in from New York and California for this. Certified diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, and luxury pre-owned Rolexes are also included. Don't miss the biggest and best store-wide event all year. Save 20, 30, even 35%. This Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only. And only at Genesis Diamonds. Poplar and Perkins Extended. See store for details.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Bartlett Small Engine has been serving quality power equipment since 1970. They have a full line of power equipment, parts, and services for most makes and models. Bartlett Small Engines has the best brands in the power tool industry, and they're all American made. Bartlett Small Engine is your can-do store. 6780 Summer Avenue. Call 901-386-9779.
Bartlett Small Engine has free pickup and delivery both at your home and curbside for lawnmowers, blowers, edgers, and any small engine. Call 901-386-9779.
How long has it been since you heard the term being overstocked? Well, it's happened at Family Leisure. Yep. That means you get the savings, like select patio sets that are up to 50% off. If you need a play gym, you're in luck because they're also overstocked and start at under $2,000. Pool tables and game room items up to $700 off of in-stock items. Saunas, massage chairs, arcades, even theater seating. Special financing is available with free delivery. Family Leisure is extending sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. And if you need supplies to close up your pool for the winter, Family Leisure has them up to 30% off. It's been a while since you've heard of an overstock sale, but Family Leisure is right in the middle of one. Huge deals and a huge overstocked inventory. That means great savings for you. It's happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56 560 AM and 98.5 FM, your Mid-South sports station.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. They're wrapping up this wreck over here. The fire department just drove off on 240 westbound at Airways. Traffic's picked up even more on 385 coming in from Collierville, getting up on the ramp to 240. Still looks pretty good right now. I-40 in from Fayette County. We expect that to get a little bit busier probably in the next 15-20 minutes on 40 westbound from 269 all the way to Whitten Road. Weimer's Jewelry's getting ready for the holiday season. Go by and see them this weekend at 7525 Highway 64, Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 7:30 the time, hour number 1 here on Sports 56 Mornings. It's Friday. It's Varless time.
It's time for Greg and Eli's weekly visit with John Varlas of the Daily Memphian. Check out John's prep sports coverage and more at dailymemphian.com. Now, here's John Varlas with Greg and Eli.
He is the Daily Memphian, award-winning prep reporter, but so much more. Covered the Memphis women's basketball team last night. He is John Varlas, of course, from the Daily Memphian. You can follow him on Twitter at John Varlas. He will get you covered with all the prep football playoffs tonight. But before we do that, he comes in guns ablaze and he says, I got a bone to pick with Zach Boyd. Mr. Innocent Zach Boyd sitting across from us. I got a bone to pick. I'll give you the floor, my friend.
Well, I don't want to take up all of our time because I know you guys aren't paying me for my NBA opinions. But I couldn't help but see the other day on social media where someone was kind of suggesting that if the Grizzlies were to pick up the phone and offer Ja Morant to the Sacramento Kings in exchange for Tyrese Halliburton.
No, Pacers.
The Pacers, I'm sorry, in exchange for Tyrese Halliburton, that it would be ridiculous. And Zach kind of chimed in, and I think Zach said something along the lines of, if you believe that, it's time for you to take your nap or something, kind of a backhanded shot at us old people. But I was curious to
I don't nap, buddy.
I was kind of curious, though, Zach, just strictly from a basketball perspective, why do you think the gap is so big between Ja Morant and Tyrese Halliburton?
I don't think it's not that big of a gap, but you got to understand the gravity of Ja Morant. Not to say that Halliburton doesn't bring that type of swag or that persona. But anytime Ja steps on the floor, everybody is looking for him. Not everybody's looking for Halliburton. Not like people are not showing up to the arena to say, "Oh man, I can't wait for Tyrese Halliburton to come out and give me 20 and 10 tonight." But
I agree with
everybody
that.
wants to see the highlight. Everybody wants to see Ja.
That's fair.
just
That's
jump
fair.
out the gym.
But people would also be showing up to the arena to see winning basketball. Would they not?
Well, they would also be seeing him.
yes.
He wouldn't be out for the first 25 games because of dumb decisions either. I would take Tyrese Halliburton in a heartbeat. Yes. I mean, I don't trading Ja Morant for him. I mean, obviously, when you talk about Ja being suspended 25 games, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Let me ask you this: if the stuff from off the court never happened, would you trade Ja
Tyrese Halliburton is a better player than Ja Morant.
So you would trade? You would rather have Halliburton than Ja Morant, and not taking into consideration any of the stuff that happened off the court?
No, I think Tyrese Halliburton is now a better player than Ja Morant.
He may be, but I'm with Zach. When Ja steps on the court, people want to watch. When Tyrese Halliburton steps on the court, sure, they're seeing a great basketball player, but they're not as excited as they are to watch Ja, who could do something in a game that you may have never seen before.
Yeah. It's driven off of revenue, to be honest with you. In my eyes, the NBA is all about revenue. That's the whole point of about the Grizzlies not having a national TV game until 25 games later.
Well, I think you make a great point, but John makes a great point as well. It's like who's going to bring more wins to that team, and that's debatable. Whoever I guess you think is better, but man, oh man, you're right about that.
And you raise a good point too, Greg. The whole if there was no off the court situation, but there is.
But there is,
and you have to consider that, and you have to consider what that might look like even going forward too. Okay. But no, I'm just kind of messing with Zach because he's my guy, and I don't want to. This is not anything serious. I was just kind of curious what he thought, and I was just also kind of curious why he thought us old people need to take our naps.
So you feel good now? You feel good? You got it off your chest?
I addressed it.
Hey, I love that. I love naps.
I addressed it. He answered, and we're all good.
You're like Jay Leno every week. You come in, you got what's the segment that Leno used to do? Like, I got a bone to pick with somebody.
I did. It's not hard for me to find them.
I'm just happy the bone wasn't the pick. You weren't picking the bone with me this week.
No,
Did Eli piss you off too?
No, I totally dig Eli, except for his weird food things. I mean,
I went dig Eli,
and I went ahead and agreed with you on this one.
You did. I really appreciate that. In fact, you even went kind of farther than I did. But I mean, Eli's the man, except for his weird food opinions.
As he doesn't want to age himself, he uses the term dig.
Yeah. And naps are cool.
That was great back in the 60s.
Naps are awesome. God, anybody who's not taking naps is losing out on life.
I'm not taking naps, and I should be taking naps.
Like the kids say, there is nothing that hits harder than that post-workout nap, man. Like on a day like today, like I'm going to leave here, I'm going to go do my workout, I'm going to be exhausted, it's cloudy, it's dark. Man, I'm gonna get me in a good 90 minutes or 2 hour nap.
Oh, now that's too long. Now that's too long.
What's cool? You know what's cool? Taking your meds. That's fun.
Well,
taking your meds.
Sometimes
I'm not
older folks. No, we take our meds. That's
not going to work out, and then I'm going to go take a nap.
God bless you, Eli.
But I just need like a 15-minute nap.
All right, let's get right into the high school football. Week 2 of the postseason here in Tennessee. Mississippi starts tonight.
Yes,
in the playoffs.
They do.
Okay, let's start with the private schools. Let's go Division II, AAA. MUS and Christian Brothers both had byes last week, both in action. So how's it looking as far as the local teams in AAA?
Well, super tough challenge for Christian Brothers. Number one, they're playing a team that they've already faced this season, and they lost that game by 39 points. And as the radio voice of the Christian Brothers football team, Eli Savoy, pointed out just now, Baylor didn't even have to punt in that game. So it kind of indicates, kind of the dominance that Baylor had in that game. So it's going to be a tough challenge tonight for Christian Brothers, and certainly it's complicated by the fact that they have to travel. I mean, I think in high school, probably more than anything else, when you have to make a long trip, it's, it's a hassle, and it's certainly an advantage for the home team. So I think the odds are kind of stacked against Christian Brothers tonight, unfortunately. The other side of the coin on that is MUS is playing at home, and they're welcoming in Knoxville Catholic, which is, they're coming 6 hours from Knoxville. And if anybody, by the way, if you're interested in going to that MUS game tonight, please make note that's a 6 o'clock start instead of the traditional 7 o'clock. I'm pretty sure they did that to accommodate Baylor, having to travel, so they get back to Knoxville at 4 in the morning, I guess, and instead of 5 in the morning.
But should make a huge difference.
but you know,
they'll be taking some naps.
Well, every little bit
for the
helps.
Knoxville fans, they get to watch their normal 7:00 time slot.
every little bit helps, but I like MUS's chances in this one. I mean, I think they've really played tremendous football all year long, defensively led by Hudson Schoaf and Brandon Nicholson and Mekhi Shaw in the secondary. Max Williams has come on this year. The guys they have up front, Ketcher Miller and those guys. I mean, it's a really, really good defensive team. The offense, it's not been as consistent. I think for MUS, the defense is pretty much shown up every week. The offense maybe not every week, but they've certainly done well enough offensively to get the job done. Brady Hughes was outstanding 2 weeks ago against Briarcrest in the regular season finale, 4 touchdown passes. So if he can, come anywhere close to replicating that in the postseason, I think they've got a great chance to do some special things. But no, I like MUS in this one, primarily just simply because of the home field advantage fact and factoring in the travel and on top of that, they're just a better team than Knoxville Catholic.
The Baylor offense, which the first time I saw them again, they did Chris Brothers' first one. As I said then, they got a quarterback going to Vanderbilt, receiver going to Alabama, tight end going to Ohio State, and none of them are the best player in the offense.
That's Amari Jefferson, right? The wide receiver?
Yes.
Yeah.
But the other receiver, the junior, is better. And he's the best player. That dude is he's a freak of nature.
Okay. And
not that Jefferson's bad. Jefferson's awesome.
Who's spending more money on players, Baylor or Lipscomb?
Well, no comment. Does Baylor have the lineman, the gentle kid, or is he at Macaulay?
He's Macaulay.
Okay. Yeah, I get those.
Okay,
they're just that their collection of skill position players is as fine as you could be on the high school level.
The other two private divisions, there's nobody else left from the local area, right?
No, au contraire, mon frère. There's a lot of people left. Lausanne is
left.
Oh, Lausanne. Yeah, what am I thinking of? Okay, well, I'm looking at they're not in the bottom half. I'm looking at the bottom half of the bracket. They're in the top half, I guess.
Lausanne is hosting tonight against Davidson Academy, and I like Lausanne's chances. Because
Kevin LeCastro, how can I forget?
Oh, he's rolling, and they've really got that ground game rolling here too the last few weeks with Tyler Wilson primarily leading the way. So, look for Lausanne to kind of ball control it like they did last week, and I think they've got a good chance to advance. Again, playing at home, huge advantage for them. North Point. Much tougher challenge for North Point. They're going on the road to play Boyd Buchanan in Chattanooga. North Point played really well last week with Jack Patterson at quarterback, but it's going to be a tough trip to Boyd Buchanan. Kind of a fun thing with Boyd Buchanan, their coach is Gary Rankin, who, if you follow high school football at Tennessee at all, he's the guy that he was at Alcoa and he won 80 state championships and 1,000 games when he was at Alcoa, and now he's at Boyd Buchanan, getting their program. They're undefeated, so they've got obviously a great team. So tough challenge for North Point tonight. And then in the smallest of the 3 private school classifications, FACS is heading to the Mid-State to take on a really good Middle Tennessee Christian squad. And man, I got to shout out this Brian Shields kid for FACS. I've been kind of on his bandwagon all year long. Last week he had 492 yards of total offense.
Jeez.
6 touchdowns. He rushed for 322 yards. He returned a punt for a touchdown. He returned a kickoff for a touchdown. Just
drove the bus.
Just an incredible player.
Good fantasy week.
Yeah. I mean, and to compare, I don't, he with the speed he has in playing in that division, he reminds me a lot of what he's able to do, kind of like what Calvin Austin was able to do at Harding Academy. Now, I'm not saying he's going to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers at some point like Calvin Austin is doing, but at the high school level, their production and what they're able to do has been very, very similar. And he's just had a tremendous senior year for FACS. And when you got a player like Shields, you always have a chance.
All right, so FACS, and we got Lausanne, then we have North Point, we have Christian Brothers, we have MUS as far as the private schools from the area that are still alive in the Tennessee playoffs. We're going to talk about the public schools, a little bit about Mississippi in our second segment. I will, though, pass along this information from our buddy Jarvis Greer. Jarvo says, hey, tell John the gap is huge. Tell Varlas I'm older than him. In no world, capital letters, suspension and all, is Tyrese getting the nod over Ja.
Well, Jarvis is welcome to his opinion, but I mean, strictly from a basketball standpoint, take away the superstar aspect of it, take away the eyeballs aspect, which Zach astutely brought up. Take away the occasional spectacular dunk, and like you're saying, Greg, the things you never do. From a production standpoint, where is the difference between those two players? It's marginal at best.
It's a fair point by you. I thought Zach made a good retort as far as his information, why he says what he said. And of course, there's our buddy Jarvis. Love Jarvis. He's always listening to our program, and I can't thank him enough.
One guy's leading the league in assists by like 3. The other guy hasn't played a game yet.
I mean, it's
investability is availability.
I was going to say that it's already a cliche at this point, but if you're not on the floor helping your team,
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Halliburton's averaging 23.5 and 11.5.
I know he's
best offense in the league.
Hey,
he's leading.
There are a lot of great point guards in this league, and you wouldn't mind having any of them, right? I know De'Aaron Fox is hurt right now. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, on and on and on. All right, Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. They offer financing, so you can't afford not to get that roof fixed, ladies and gentlemen. So how can you do it? If your budget is not well endowed, you need to get financing, and they will give you those options with Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. 6, you can go 12, you can go 18 months, same as cash option. They'll work with your insurance company, they'll work out of pocket, whatever it takes. They do residential and commercial roofing. So business owners and property managers, if you have a leak or any other roofing issue, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. Licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof, and all their work satisfaction guaranteed. That includes work around the home like carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, install shingles, put up fencing and siding, rotten wood repair. Whatever you can't do yourself, call the experts at Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon today. He's the owner of the company. Tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings, 901-438-5084 or online at newroofmemphis.com. More from JV when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 at 98.5 FM.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Pizza lovers and sports fanatics, Ferraro's Pizzeria is your Sunday ticket headquarters. Catch every pro game on multiple big screen TVs while enjoying $2 beers, $9 beer buckets, and mouth-watering pizza. We're talking the cheesiest, most delicious New York pizzas in town with all your favorite toppings. What are you waiting for? Grab your family and friends and get to Ferraro's, corner of Jackson and Main, just east of the Pyramid. Enjoy every pro game at Ferraro's Pizzeria and Cheesy Corner, your game day destination.
Hey, everybody, that to-do list for the holidays? Well, you're going to want to write this down. Go to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. A lot of these new Silverados have red tags, and Kevin and Jeff said they'll get you financing as low as $1.9 or $2,000 cash. You can get one of these new Equinoxes with financing as low as $1.9 or $1,000 cash, and your good credit deserves it. And look, I'm out here in Olive Branch, and All-Star has any new Chevy you want. Tahoes, Trailblazers, and a lot of families I know love these new Traverses with all the cargo space and third-row seating. And so can you. And do more together this holiday season. Military, teachers, college students, healthcare. You get $500 bonus. And if you want certified pre-owned Chevys or any pre-owned car, All-Star has a lot full. Silverados, Ram trucks. Here's a Nissan Rogue, Lexus, Honda, Suburbans, Jeeps. If it's not here, just ask Jeff and he'll find it for you. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Bartlett or even Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Don't miss Provember at Lowe's. Save $80 on a DeWalt Combo Kit and save $20 on a 5-gallon pail of HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams All-Purpose Power Primer. Plus, MVP's members earn 3 times the bonus points on DeWalt and HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams products. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. While supplies last, selection varies by location. Bonus points calculated before tax and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 11/22, subject to change.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday baked chicken, Italian Tuesday spaghetti, ravioli, Italian spinach, delicious fried catfish, fried chicken livers every Wednesday, Friday Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $8.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $10.95. And veggie plate, $9.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's. Eddie Smith plays Sundays 5 to 9, Mondays karaoke, Tuesdays Debbie Jameson, Wednesdays Elmo and the Shades, Thursdays John Williams and the A440 Band at Neil's.
Where the fat man rocks.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware at the corner of White Station and Quince. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
We're talking high school football playoffs with John Varlas from the Daily Memphian. You can follow him on Twitter at John Varlas. Last week you said you felt good about the 6A teams from the area, that they would all advance, and they did.
Collierville was the only team with any suspense in that one, and man, what a game that was. We actually, I say we, it's like I'm part of the staff. We after the Houston game, since it was a blowout and it wrapped up kind of early, the coaches all retired to the coach's office to catch the live stream in the end of that Collierville game, and they said, "Hey, JV, come watch with us," and I was like, "Cool," and Collierville was down 2 touchdowns with about 7 minutes left to go in the game on the road against an undefeated Clarksville team. And to make matters worse, they're down to their backup quarterback. So Aiden Glover, the Missouri commit, is injured. He's on the sidelines, not playing. They bring in this kid, Grant Troutman. They're down 22-10. Troutman leads them on a drive, scores a touchdown with a really nice pass to Joakim Dotson, 22-17. They force a punt. 2.5 minutes left. Troutman leads them right back down the field again. He sneaks in the winning touchdown with 39 seconds to go. And there you go. Collierville wins 23-22 and completes the Shelby County sweep with a backup quarterback. And now Collierville's reward for that is they got to go play Houston again, a team that just beat them a couple of weeks ago in the regular season finale. So rivalry game, classy versus trashy is what they call it. And to this day, I have not been able to decipher.
Classy versus trashy. Which one is?
That's what I was saying. To this day, I don't know which is the classy and which is the trashy. I'm not going to speculate. I think they're both pretty cool as far as I'm concerned. But no, I mean this is like this would be like Auburn, Alabama in a national playoff situation.
What's the quarterback situation though for Collierville? Is Troutman going to play again?
I don't know because they don't supply injury reports for high school football. I think I will say this though. I think if I think Collierville has a lot of confidence in Troutman if he is their man tonight. I mean, he played really well. He's a big kid too. He's like 6'4", like 185, 195 pounds. Mm-hmm. He had some good. He showed some good running ability last week against Clarksville. So I think they feel confident if they have to go into battle with Troutman. But obviously you want your starter in there if at all possible.
Sure. How about did Germantown beat Bartlett their first meeting?
It was 44-20 in a game that Bartlett actually led 13-10 at halftime. So. Wow. Bartlett led 13-10 at halftime. First play after the second half kickoff, B.J. Blake rips off a long touchdown run, so Germantown's ahead. Germantown forces a punt. Second possession, B.J. Blake does it again. So he had like 2 carries and like 150 yards worth of touchdowns on his first 2 touches of the second half, and Germantown kind of pulled away after that. So
is your lean to Germantown and Houston?
Well, I don't do leans, but certainly based on
what do you do, John? That's what I want to know.
I do a little bit of everything.
He picks bones.
I'm kidding.
No, I mean if you're Germantown, you really like your situation. I mean, that's a team that's got a ton of talent.
Plus they're home, right?
Plus they're home. They played really well last week. I mean, they just got so many dudes, and it's going to be a tough challenge for Bartlett.
5A Southwind's been a great story. They're going to host Beach.
And that scares me. I know. I saw some social media chatter where, some people think Southwind wins this game very easily, and they're using like comparative scores to figure that out. But no, Beach is a darn good football team. I saw them here in person last year when they were in 6A and they played Bartlett in the state semifinals, and they beat Bartlett to advance to the championship game. So they dropped down a classification this year, and they've lost some guys. In fairness, it's not the same team, but man, no, they're really talented. They do what they do really well, and this is going to be by far Southwind's toughest challenge of the year. So they're going to have to play their best game by far to get past Beach. I'm concerned about this one. I really am. As much as I love and admire and respect everything that Southwind's done this year, they've been tremendous. But they're not just going to walk in there and beat Beach tonight. That's for sure.
Some beach somewhere.
No day at the beach possibly for Southwind.
Melrose in 4A against Dyer County. How's that matchup?
Big game. Huge for Melrose last week. They played. They in 2022 in the first round. They were the 1 seed. Obion County was the 4 seed, and Obion County went into Orange Mountain and won that game last year. Knocked them out. So kind of a revenge thing this year, and they put it on Obion County last week. Great game for Ryan Brown. 188 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns, also returned a kickoff for a touchdown. So if they can get Ryan and the rest of those playmakers they got going, Joe Williams and Sadat Muhammad and William Carver and those guys, if they can find a way to get those guys in space and make plays, I think they've got a good chance to advance to the quarterfinals. And, playing at home, Orange Mound's going to be rocking, and that's going to be a big home field advantage for them.
Also in 4A, Millington, I assume they're the dog at Haywood?
Yeah, Millington's going on the road. Impressive win last week for Millington against Crockett County, and as a result of that, their quarterback McCoy Pugh was voted as the Daily Memphian Player of the Week. So
there you go.
Shout out to McCoy and everybody at Millington for getting the vote out. But yeah, Haywood County is a tough program. They had things rolling there for the last few years under Chris Smith, who's now the Bartlett coach, and the new coach has kept it going this year. It's a tough place to play, and it's going to be a tough one tonight for Millington for sure.
In 3A, Covington and Ripley. Covington shut them out in the first meeting. Any reason to believe this will be any different?
Not really, especially as well as Covington is playing. They put 70 on Hamilton last week, which is extremely hard to do in a high school football game. I think they actually had about 50 of those in one quarter, the second quarter.
Oh my gosh!
So no, they're just playing really good offensive football right now, and they've won 8 in a row, and I don't see any reason why they don't win 9 in a row.
2A, Oak Haven at Fairleigh, Mitchell at Memphis Business.
Two of the 3 best defenses in our area statistically, with Fairleigh there and Mitchell. Mitchell actually led the city in total defense. Eli, they went through an entire season allowing just 33.7 yards per game, and that was actually minus yards until the last game of the season. So
oh my gosh.
Total chaos in that last game, but no, very, very good defense. Both teams are outstanding defensively, and I think those defenses will carry them into a quarterfinal rematch likely next week.
And then finally in 1A, we have Middle College at Dresden, Union City at Mays.
Yeah, Dresden's just a machine, so this is going to be a really tough one for Middle College. Mace, on the other hand, that's Cedric Miller's team. They've got tremendous size up front. They've got skill guys. They've got playoff experience too. They're battle tested. They made a good run last year with much the same roster, and Union City's a good team. Again, like these West Tennessee teams, Greg, they're all well coached. They all do what they do very well. They run whatever their system is. They run it well, and they don't make a lot of mistakes. And again, I'm hammering this point home, but Mace being the home team tonight, that game's going to be at Crump Stadium instead of their usual Melrose, because obviously Melrose is at Melrose. But playing at home is going to be a huge advantage, and so. Choked up. So having said that, I like Mason this game, but like with Beach and Southwind, this is going to be a really, really tough game, and certainly not a cakewalk by any stretch.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Germantown because I want to be close to home base, and we got a lot of work to do tonight. So I'm going to be at Germantown and hopefully see some good football. Hopefully,
sure you will.
Hopefully, I'll get a seat in the press box and stay a little warm and a little dry, and we'll see some great football. No, but I know this Germantown team is fun. Any guy, listeners, if you haven't seen Germantown and you want to see just a really, really good football team, and if you're interested in like guys for the next level too, I mean, Daniel Anderson, Keeson Shepard, DJ Allen, Jamarian Morrow, Cordero Walker, the quarterback. All these guys are future, D1 college players, and just go check them out and see for yourself and see how good this team is.
Off the top of his head, he's just rattling off these names. He amazes me every single week. He's the best. He's John Varlas.
They're not actually real. He just makes up names.
Yeah, that's what I wonder. Do we have a fact checker working here so we can check? I'm going to guess he's probably right. And 100% of the time, but he's the best. He's John Varlas from the Daily Memphian. Follow him on Twitter at John Varlas. If you're into the high school football postseason, he'll have you covered tonight, updates everything. I don't know how he does it. I think there's a couple of John Varlases running around. Also, Mississippi begins their playoffs, so check that out as well. It's going to be a fun night of high school football in the metro area. Arkansas, I'm not sure if they're into the postseason, but they may be as well. But make sure to read all of John's great stories. Like I said, he does prep football, he does all preps, but he does so much more at the Daily Memphian. We will talk to you next Friday, my friend.
Appreciate you guys for having me, and thank you as always.
Thank you so much.
This hour of the program is brought to you by East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station and Quince. For all those projects you need to get done around the house, all the supplies you need, right there at East Memphis Ace Hardware. Plus, they're a platinum dealer for the Big Green Egg. So all the eggs and egg accessories that you can need, they've got those for you as well. And they've got a great staff to help you find whatever it is that you are looking for. Go by and see them, the local folks over at East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station and Quince.
Got some college football from last night. We talked about the NFL game, but we're going to talk a little college football when we return. Get back into the Memphis Tigers, Missouri Tigers, big matchup tonight in Columbia. And maybe we will talk a little bit more about the Ja Halliburton thing. That was kind of fun with John going at Zach. Maybe we'll continue that to open up hour 2. We'll also open up the phone lines to you at 360-8255. Hit us up on the Sports 56 listener lines by calling in or texting in. And then we'll talk Grizzlies with Parker Fleming at 8:25. That's coming up in hour 2. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Spencer here with ATC Fitness. There's no better time of the year than now. Football and fitness go hand in hand in the fall. And with individual screens on each piece of cardio and multiple big screens throughout the rest of the club, you'll never miss a bit of the action watching your favorite team. ATC Fitness continues to be the Mid-South's choice for fitness, family-owned for 30 years, and proud supporters of Coach Silverfield and the Memphis Tigers. Join online at atcfitness.com. ATC Fitness, exercise your right to look good.
It's time for the holidays.
Blah, humbug.
What, you're not all excited for the turkey and dressing and cranberry sauce?
The cooking, the cleaning, the relatives.
Well, you got people coming in from out of town?
Hi, so many people.
It'll be fun.
All I want to do is go to Central Barbecue.
That's all you ever want to do.
Alone.
Come on, it's the holidays.
Just sitting there in a booth all by myself, enjoying Central Barbecue, no family, being all festive.
Well, you enjoy your own private Central Barbecue holiday.
That is all I ask.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. So minivans, sedans, JDMs, roll out. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. And with eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
They're taking care of business in Memphis, right on the river with Grind City Brewing and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
At Sissy's Log Cabin, you'll find only spectacular natural diamonds that will remain treasured for generations. That promise is now symbolized by the engraved Sissy signature and sapphire, representing our guarantee of extraordinary service, selection, experience, and quality. Stop by any of our stores or visit sissyslogcabin.com and experience the Sissy's promise for yourself. Find a jeweler for a lifetime, only at Sissy's Log Cabin, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Sports 56 traffic.
I was up against the wall on 240 eastbound at Gedwell trying to assist a motorist that stalled out in that area. There's still some volume coming up through South Haven at times on 55 northbound up from DeSoto County towards South Memphis. Still looks good over here right now on I-40 as you come past Abilene and Sycamore View Road. Westbound is going to get busier here in a few minutes getting on that 240 flyover. Some of that traffic gets off there onto Sam Cooper. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry located 7525 Highway 64. They want you to know they are your full-service, family-owned jewelry store here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever. Woo!
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:04 the time, hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Big thanks to John Varlas for joining us as he does every Friday. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you. We are in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Second hour of the program is brought to you by our friends at James Gaddis Jewelers. Yes, the holidays. We are just about here, right? Now, you're not going to buy beautiful jewelry for Thanksgiving, but you will for Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and all the holidays that are about 6 weeks away. So it's rapidly approaching. You're wondering, man, what am I going to buy my loved one? What do they want? Well, James Gaddis Jewelers has all types of choices for you. From watches to rings to bracelets to necklaces to earrings to pendants, plus the custom-made jewelry, the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. I've talked about this before. They can customize jewelry for you. They can make it to your specifications. So you bring in an old family heirloom, and they will modernize it. That's what they can do at James Gaddis Jewelers. They'll buy your gold, your silver, your diamonds. You need something appraised, you bring it in to James Gaddis Jewelers. And, of course, if you're looking to get engaged this holiday season, make sure James Gaddis Jewelers is one of the jewelers you check out. They are known for their diamond rings, their engagement rings, their wedding rings, their personally designed wedding sets, and all their diamonds are independently graded and certified. They are a locally owned company. This isn't some big conglomerate. It's James Gaddis Jewelers. They'll treat you like family, believe me. 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. All right, there was interesting conversation when John brought up with Zach about Ja Morant. I don't want to go too much on that, but maybe people want to chime in on it. We had our friend Jarvo text in on that. Right now, around the league, when you look at the young point guards, there are so many. You mentioned Tyrese Halliburton, and you said you would take Tyrese Halliburton over Ja Morant. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he has certainly surpassed Ja Morant. Now, Zach, do you think differently for, like, SGA? Would you rather have SGA?
No, I take Ja.
You're still taking Ja. You have De'Aaron Fox. You have others all around the league. The issue is, as you said, or John said, availability. That's one.
But number two, the numbers don't lie. Halliburton has been absolutely tremendous. Indiana as a whole, I'm not saying they're a great team, but they are putting up some big offensive numbers, and he's leading the way.
Yeah, Tyrese Halliburton has never shot under 40% from three-point range in his career. He's a great shooter that kills Ja in that category for three-point range. He's leading the league in assists by a massive margin right now. He's still scoring 23.5 points per game. It's not. I love Ja Morant. Tyrese Halliburton is a great player, great player. And Indiana's offense is by far the best in the league right now. It's not even close. The dude is just, last night hits the big three off the dribble to win the game. The dude is just really, really good. That's not saying Ja is bad. That's just Tyrese Halliburton is absolutely awesome.
29 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds last night in the Pacers win, 126-124 over the Bucks. Giannis, by the way, with a fitty burger, 54 points and 12 rebounds for Giannis, but they came up a little bit short. Just a light night in the NBA with only 2 games. Atlanta edged Orlando 120-119.
That's right. When the Grizzlies played Indiana in the preseason, and you talked about Indiana being like the bottom of the East, and I said, dude, you got Tyrese Halliburton alone, but with Mathurin and all of that, Indiana's not a bad team at all.
Yeah, Mathurin, man, he is really good. I liked him coming out of school, and I like what he's doing so far in the NBA. Before we get to our callers, 48 degrees, cloudy skies as you get your Friday going. We're looking at sunshine and clouds mix, so even though it rained earlier today, we might have a little off and on rain, but no all-day affair. A few clouds tonight and a low of 45. Our friend Tony wanted to chime in on Ja. Hi, Tony.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Doing well, thank you.
There are a lot of good point guards in this league, and all of them got special gifts and things like that. But I think some people are dumping on number 12 because of the fact that he liked guns. But obviously 100 plus million other Americans like him too. I just never figured out what he did wrong, other than he showed a gun.
Well, yeah, but the bottom line is he's suspended. He's not playing. He's crushing the team. I mean, he's killing the team by being suspended. So I guess the question is, Tony, would you, if you could right now, not knowing, if Ja will ever do this again, would you trade Ja Morant if you can get Tyrese Halliburton? That's what was brought up by John Varlas.
No way, no how. I mean, you're in a small market and you got a guy that's a big draw that can't, everybody wants to see him. He has a big following. He's a very talented player. We see the difference without him now on what type of team we really have. I think he's a very, very good player.
Yep, I think that's
he's
fair.
better than Tyrese Halliburton. I think he brings the marketability that a small market like Memphis lacks.
Mm-hmm.
You look at it. Have we had any national televised games so far?
No. This year, no.
And as soon as he come back, they start rolling in.
Yeah.
So, I understand. Hey, the guy is over there with Indiana. Good luck to him. But I like the guy that we got. I hope he stays here long term. I think people have forgot the generosity that he has shown Memphians and paying light bills and giving school supplies and things like that. You do one bad thing and certain people start crapping on you.
Good take, Tony. Good take, my friend. Thank you. It's more than one. He did it a couple times. But your point is well taken. I'm with you, Tony, because, look, as good as Halliburton is, and Indiana, who knows, maybe they'll have a great season. But look what Ja has helped do for the Grizzlies. The number 2 record in the Western Conference 2 straight years. He's not the only person why they are in that position or were in that position, but he was a major part of it. Now, why are they in the position they're in this year? Because of him, too. Because of what he did. Whether or not you think it was okay and the guns and all that, it's a whole different story. The bottom line is the bottom line. Halliburton's playing. Ja isn't playing. I still am with Tony and with Zach. I would not. Because I think Ja, when he's in there, is must-watch television. He's been much must-watch television from the get-go. Guys like Halliburton, the Aaron Fox, even to some extent SGA, they're not always must-watch television. You
could watch on any given night John Morant play and see something you've never seen before. But the uncertainty of whether or not he's going to get his act together is something that scares you. So again, if you were offered a deal right now, would you take that deal? I wouldn't, but I'm gambling a little bit for something that seems like it's a certainty in Halliburton of consistency, whereas Ja, it's feast or famine. And that feast is incredible when he's out on the court doing his thing.
Yeah, this isn't dumping on Ja. It's not saying Ja's not a great player. Ja's a great player. Tyrese Halliburton is a better player, in my opinion. And I think the numbers bear it out.
Yeah, but you're just looking at individual stats and shooting percentage and all that. But you got to look at what the effect he has on the team. Again, second.
Well, I've never seen Tyrese Halliburton play with the Grizzlies.
No, but he plays with the Pacers, and it's not like they're in a top 2 or 3 or 4 team in the NBA the last few years. John Morant's team was second.
Okay, well, he hasn't played with the Grizzlies lineup. The Grizzlies might have been the number 1 seed in the West with him. I don't know.
So you're giving more credence to
I haven't seen Ja play with the Pacers either.
And Tripp as opposed to what he has with Miles Turner.
And he just got to Indiana.
Mathurin and all those guys. Yeah. But I understand. I understand the debate on both sides. I really do. I understand both sides. By the way, it is Friday. That means it's time for the Memphis Sports Fact that's brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. Did you know that the University of Memphis men's soccer team lost last night to the third-ranked team in the nation, SMU, in the semifinals of the American Conference Tournament? 3-0 was the final. So Memphis sits at 10-5-2, hoping to continue their season. They'll find out on Monday when the American Conference, when the NCAA tournament reveals its field for the men's soccer event. So again, the AAC men's soccer tournament still going on. Memphis loses in the semis to SMU 3-0. Last night in college football, Louisville survives Virginia 31-24. They improved to 9-1. They're number 11 in the country, Louisville. Meanwhile, Virginia drops to 2-8. Virginia had them. They led 21-14 after 3. Let it slip away, but a good job by Louisville, maybe overlooking Virginia a bit to not only get back into the game, tie it up, and then go ahead and win it.
Yeah, well, the pass play to tie it up was the dude was wide open, and then they bust off the long run as Virginia's defense in the last 6 minutes or 7 minutes just decided not to play anymore. Apparently, they apparently thought the game had finished. They forgot there was still a few minutes left of that game because both those plays, the pass play, the dude was 20 yards behind everybody, and then the running play, I don't think anybody touched him on the 73-yard run.
One other game last night, Southern Miss with the rare win. They're now 3-7. They beat Louisiana 34-31 in overtime as Louisiana drops to 5-5. They do so on a Frank Gore Jr. touchdown run with his pops, Frank Gore Sr., in the audience. Southern Miss a winner last night.
Frank Gore Jr.'s college career to me is a lot like his dad's NFL career. It feels like he's been there forever. And I looked at this is only his 4th year, but for some reason I feel like Frank Gore Jr. has been at Southern Miss for like 8 years.
I know.
I think maybe now it's just anybody who stays at one place for 4 years seems forever because nobody does that. You either transfer or whatever.
That's true.
And the fact that he's just been at one place for 4 years makes me feel like he's been there for 20 years.
Mention the Bears win last night over Carolina on Thursday Night Football 16-13. One thing I neglected to mention, I don't know why, but I love those orange uniforms. I know you're not a Bears fan, even though you're from the Chicago area. You're a Cowboys fan. But what did you think of those unis last night?
They're fine.
I thought they were really, really cool. Did you watch, Zach, last night, the Thursday night game?
No.
Okay. Do you know the uniforms I'm talking about? They were like all orange.
Well, like the
Bears? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm aware, because they I think they wore it last season.
Yeah, they have a little orange in their whole thing, but it was orange.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I thought it looked really, really good. Memphis Tigers, Missouri Tigers, we talked about this in hour number 1. They go at it tonight, 8 o'clock, SEC Network. The Memphis Tigers are a 3.5-point underdog in this game. Ole Miss will play at Georgia, a chance to pick up one of the biggest wins in their history. If you can knock off a team that hasn't lost in 3 years, they'll go in as a big dog, but no pun intended, but still capable, Ole Miss, of springing an upset. There is word that Brock Bowers may be back for this game. the All-American tight end for Georgia. In the meantime, have you been following the story that involves Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss, and DeSanto Rollins at all?
I know when the lawsuit was first filed and all that, and all, now Lane's asking for the dismissal, all that stuff.
Right, okay. Well, the audio was leaked, and it's a $40 million lawsuit. For those who don't know, Rollins was a member of the Ole Miss Rebels football team. I think he is a defensive tackle, or was. Said he was kicked off the team for missing practices and meetings during a mental health crisis. Mental health is a big problem, not only in our country, around the world. I completely understand that. But this is a polarizing issue. People are having problems with him secretly taping the discussion in the locker room or in Lane's office. But he just went AWOL. He missed time. But then, again, when you say it's a mental health issue, do you realize what you're doing? People are on both ends and, man, really going at it with this one. I don't know what happens as far as the lawsuit. Again, as you just mentioned, he has filed a motion. The school has filed a motion. Kiffin involved in that motion to dismiss the lawsuit, but it's a $40 million lawsuit. I don't think it affects Lane Kiffin one bit as he gets his team prepped for the big one tomorrow in Athens.
No, it certainly doesn't affect anything on the field with them. But yeah, the whole thing with Lane's point was that even though you asked for this mental health break, like if I asked for you to come see me, you still have to do that. Like you don't get to just not come see the head coach or anything like that.
And I understand that.
And I completely understand that. I don't. It's they were asking him to move positions, and that's part of the reason they believed he was upset. All that stuff. So I don't know. It's we'll see what happens. I would be surprised if much ends up coming of that lawsuit.
So Heather Dinich reporting that sources indicate a Big Ten response is coming early this afternoon to the Michigan alleged sign stealing situation. The team leaves at 1 o'clock Central Time to fly out of Detroit to State College for their game against Penn State. So it's interesting with the timing if something concrete is announced. I can't imagine they're going to go on the plane, they're going to start to fly, they're going to land, and then they're going to say, hey, Harbaugh, by the way, you're suspended for a couple of games. But then again, timing hasn't always been the best thing when it comes to these conferences, and especially the NCAA. But this is a Big Ten move, according to Heather Dinich. So we'll see what happens with Michigan. We were talking during the break with John Varlas, you and him going at it. And I thought this was a topic to bring up because it's kind of an interesting topic. For those who don't know, and I don't know the whole entire situation with Clay Travis and what he had said. Do you remember exactly what he said about the WNBA champions?
Well, he said apparently said a high school state champion boys basketball team would beat them.
Okay, so Carly Lloyd, the great former U.S. women's soccer player, after hearing something that was brought up about the U.S. women's national team, she confirmed it yesterday that they played in preparation for one of their runs in the World Cup, and this is a great, great team, that they played an under-16 team with 15-year-old boys, but a really good junior team, and they got beat badly. They got beat 5-2. I think the score was 5-2. And she said, yeah, it's true. And it got us ready to go, and we made a run. I think they may have won the World Cup that year, whatever the case may be. She said it prepared us. Why are people getting up in arms over this? Because of their age? They are boys. They are 15, 16, whatever the case is. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster. As much as we support women's athletes and women's sports, and there's no question that I certainly do, and I know you do as well. And there are certain sports that I'm just, amazed at just how talented these athletes are. But let's not go overboard here. Let's not go crazy here. I think, even though I'm not pro Clay Travis and some of the things he says, I think his point is well taken. But you say differently. You were saying to Varlas, because Varlas came out, this was during the break, and he said that I definitely think that boys team would beat the Las Vegas Aces, and you say they wouldn't.
No, I don't. I think I would take the Aces every single time. against the high school basketball team.
Against just an average or a really special
state championship, just like Clay Travis says, or whatever. I guess that's what he said. I 100% would take the Aces.
He said, didn't he say he'd put $1 million up or something like that? I think, and this is not being sexist, I think a really good state champion boys basketball team, high school boys basketball team, would beat the Aces and probably beat them badly. And it has nothing to do with the talents of these women. And they are the best of the best. They're the best professional women's basketball players in the world, playing in the WNBA, and assembled on this one team is a lot of talent. I think the boys basketball team would win. Again, not just an average Joe boys basketball team with 5 dudes that are 5'10" running around. I'm talking about a well-established state champion boys basketball team when you have guys that are 6'8", 6'7", 6'6", can jump out of the building because they are faster, stronger, and for the most part bigger. There may be some players on the women's team that are taller. There's no question about it. But let's not get crazy here. I think that's, again, what he's saying, how he said it, and just, his demeanor. I don't like that guy. But what he says, I'm like, I think there's truth to it. And that's not a knock on women's sports. And that's why Carly Lloyd said what she said, because they talked about this U.S. women's national team.
So you think it's crazy to say the Aces would win? You think that's crazy?
No, I don't think it's crazy to say that. But I don't think they would.
What do you mean when you say, let's not get crazy here?
I was talking about him with his $1 million offer and all that stuff like that. I think
he's got the money. He can do whatever he wants to do.
No, I know. I mean, but that's, he's just being who he is. But as far as the specifics of what he said as far as the team versus the team, as much as I enjoy it and I know they're talented, I'm saying let's not get crazy as far as the physicality of men versus women. And I don't care if you're 16, if you're 6'7", 6'8". I'm not talking again about just an average Joe high school team. I'm talking about a state champion high school team. For example, when Mike Miller was coaching Houston just a couple years ago, they won a state championship team. That Houston team would beat the Las Vegas Aces. I stand by it. You say no.
I would take the Aces every time.
Love to hear from you folks. If you want to text it at 67129 on the Sports 56 listener lines, 67129. State champion high school basketball team, boys basketball team versus the WNBA champion Las Vegas Aces. All right, when we return, we're going to talk with Parker Fleming, talk some Grizzlies as they get set for their next game in the in-season tournament. That's tonight against the Utah Jazz.
East Coast Wings and Grill. If you're not going to the game tonight, you want to be able to watch the Grizzlies and the Tigers at the same time, certainly you can do that over at East Coast Wings and Grill. They'll have both games going on and all their TVs in there. Always got all the action on with all the different TVs they've got. Plus, while you're doing it, you can enjoy great food and drinks. I yesterday was over there for lunch, as a matter of fact. They've got some new wing flavors on the menu, and tried yesterday. What did I have yesterday? They had hot honey. And the other one I went to one of the old ones. That was the Caribbean jerk that I had. But they do have a few new ones on there that I'm working my way through. They've got some other new items on the menu as well over at East Coast Wings or Grill. Of course, the wings with 60 flavors to choose from, plus the great burgers and flatbreads, all kinds of other stuff on that menu. 24 draft beers on tap. It's all at East Coast Wings and Grill. So you can enjoy great food and drink while watching all of the games. And you can find them just off Highway 64, Kate Hyde Boulevard. It runs right between Lowe's and Walmart. And that's where you'll find East Coast Wings and Grill.
So Varlos is listening. He said, take the East High School state champions. James Wiseman, 7 foot. Chandler Lawson, 6'9". Malcolm Dandridge at 6'10", 40-inch arms. Come on. There's no way the Las Vegas Aces are beating that team. And I think they would crush them. All right. We're talking Grizzlies when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Start your day the right way at La Palapa with the biggest, baddest breakfast burrito around. Chorizo, cheese, rice, beans, and eggs served with fresh salsa, and it's served all day. La Palapa has daily lunch specials, all served with rice and beans, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Try a torta, breaded chicken, steak, chorizo, or ham served with mayo, avocado, lettuce, tomato, and jalapenos, all in a hoagie. Plus amazing soups and dinner entrees, all at La Palapa, 5255 Summer Avenue. La Palapa, the little hut with big taste.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just one pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
When the weather gets better, I found a new place to really soak it in. It's the patio at the Commissary in Collierville. We all love the delicious Memphis-style barbecues. You can begin your barbecue fest with some great appetizers like the cheese plate or the tamales or the barbecue nachos. Oh, those smoked chicken wings, they're terrific too. Then dig into the ribs or the barbecue shoulder. Get it chopped or pulled on a sandwich. A big sandwich, or you can get it on a plate. You've got choice, and you've got choice in places. Don't forget the Germantown Commissary as well. Comes with beans and slaw, deviled eggs they're famous for. And Brad, you can even order by the pound, a 6-pack or an 8-pack or even a 12-pack. The Boss Man salad, the chicken plate, the barbecue shrimp. There's something for everybody, and those great desserts. The best icebox lemon pie anywhere. Or my favorite, the banana pudding. Check out the patio, TVs for sports, and music on the weekends. You love the Commissary.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. There's a couple of accidents still getting some attention out here. A little bit of volume continues to come inbound on Summer Avenue. Still busy, but moving southbound Austin P towards the interstate. On the interstate itself, not bad. I-40 over here at Warford and Hollywood. Hey, get rid of that old junk car today by calling Memphis for junk cars. That telephone number is 901 area code 258-8999. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Grizz and the Jazz tonight at FedEx Forum. In-season tournament game number 2 for the Grizzlies, who come in at 1-7. The Jazz are 2-7 overall. It's the Something Has to Give Bowl. The Jazz are 0-5 on the road so far this season. The Memphis Grizzlies 0-4 at home. And here to talk some Grizzlies, he has been very kind with his time over the last few years to give us his insight. His name is Parker Fleming. You can follow him on Twitter at Paca_Flocka. Parker, I want you, as you join us, to explain to everyone subsacculitis, what it all means, and how you cover the Grizzlies through this new thing that you developed.
Yeah, so again, Greg, appreciate you having me on, giving me the platform to talk Grizzlies, but also to share my goal with subsacculitis. So all my written content is free, and I know we live in a day and age where a lot of stuff's behind a paywall, but my stuff's free. All my written content's free. no strings attached. But if you choose to support me and Substack Elitist, I take monthly and annual subscriptions and donate it all to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital for my wife, Allie's fundraiser team. She's been battling brain cancer for 10 and a half years now. And obviously, I wouldn't have her or have anything without, for one, the grace of God, but two, the Dodgers at St. Jude. So it's my way of giving back. And so, yeah, if you choose to support, you can just go to my Twitter. You already plugged it in at Paco_Flock. I post all my stuff there anyways. And, yeah, it's just a way that, merging my two goals, and that's writing about basketball and donating to St. Jude.
Outstanding. All right, Parker, so I'm going to hit you with a tough question right off the bat. I want you to give me the 3 major reasons why the Grizzlies are in the position they're in. You can't say anything with injury, so you can't use the Steven Adams injury. You can use the jaw suspension, so give me the 3.
Well, 1, jaw suspension. I'll just go ahead and throw that out there.
Sure.
Number 1, jaw suspension. And there's no reason to pile on Ja. I feel like the national media has been covering that, but at the end of the day, you don't have Ja Morant for 25 games, and it's showing clearly. They desperately need a superstar level shot creator to kind of, I guess, recalibrate everybody's roles into expectations. I mean, Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. have been awesome, but at the end of the day, they operate better as star secondary options and not primary options, and they don't deserve any criticism for this slow start. By the way, they have been awesome. Number 2, there's not enough offensive efficiency across the board. I think they're dead last in offensive rating and towards the bottom in field goal percentage and 3-point percentage. I think a lot of it starts with the starting lineup. Zaire Williams hasn't really parlayed his preseason production with regular season action, and the Grizzlies have been getting obliterated with him on the floor. And it's one of those things, like, remember last year when it was clearly obvious how much better the Grizzlies were with Luke Kennard on the floor than Dylan Brooks in the playoffs? Now the Grizzlies look clearly better with Luke Kennard instead of Zaire Williams. So I think, you kind of have to start assessing that to kind of get this team out of this rut. But also, too, like Marcus Smart, I think he started out well, and, he's been fine defensively. I think he leads the NBA in steals. He's clearly showing his value as a guy that can set the table offensively and set the tone defensively. But he's still kind of finding his place within the offense as well. And I think that's normal. I mean, he's getting used to an entire new offensive system after years in Boston. That's expected. A long time ago, Steven Adams also had trouble adjusting to the Grizzlies system, and then he ended up being fine. But, I mean, I think maybe reshuffling the starting lineup could help kickstart the offense and get it to where Taylor Jenkins and his coaching staff envisioned when they kept talking about in the preseason, adding gears to the offense, adding different stuff to the offense, because right now it's kind of looking rough. And, I mean, number 3, everyone's pointed it out, it's the 3-point defense. Taylor Jenkins has expressed, and his players, they said that they want to take away shots in the paint. And obviously you don't want to have and it makes sense in theory. Not even in theory, it's also an execution as well. I mean, you don't want to basically give up a layup line. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, it's a more efficient shot to shoot a 2 than a 3, but also at the same time, 3s are worth more than 2s, and you're getting burned from 3. You're dead last in opponent, or I think you're second last. I think San Antonio is last right now in opponent 3-point percentage. And, I was encouraged the other night by the volume. They only gave up 28 threes, but Miami made 11 of them, which was like 39%. But you kind of got to accept, like, okay, do we need to send 3 guys to help as a guy's getting downhill? Because then you're just kind of scrambling defensively to try to close out on shooters. And these offenses nowadays are really crisp with their ball and player movement, where it's pretty easy to scramble a defense nowadays. But, you have Jaren Jackson Jr., you have Bismack Biyombo, 2 of the NBA's most efficient shot blockers, how much help do you really need to send? Could you get away with just the guy defending the driver and then one of those guys sliding over to help instead of just crashing the paint, having a guy come out from the top to give up an above the break three? I don't know. I'm not a coach, but I do think that there needs to be some sort of tweak. But also, too, the Grizzlies' defense starts out slow every year, and I think they're already kind of building on something, getting towards something. I think they went from, within the first 2 weeks of the season, they were like in the bottom 10 in defensive rating, and now they're like in the middle of the pack. They're like 14th in defensive rating. Again, it's going to take time. You have new pieces you're integrating in. You have players getting more playing time than they did last year. The defense is the least of my concerns, to be honest.
You talk about the system, the new system, all of that stuff. There's a lot of people I know that have, before this start, have talked about Taylor Jenkins and maybe have he maxed out what he can do with this team. What do you think? How much blame is there to be placed on Taylor Jenkins?
I'm not. I know I'm not allowed to blame injuries, and I do think the injuries and the suspension play a big part in that. Mm-hmm. And then you kind of get into, you have the conversation of like, oh, why didn't Zach Kleiman offset this in the offseason? I'm like, well, he offsetted the job stuff, the job suspension, with Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart was fixing your point guard issue as well as getting rid of Dylan Brooks. But also, too, Desmond Bane's growth as a creator was also to offset that. I think they've been fine offsetting that. I know people have talked about the big man stuff. But, if you go back and look at affordable, impactful big men that they could have acquired in the offseason, I mean, for one, that would have required getting rid of Kenneth Lawson Jr. I think people would still be talking about that, especially in the slow start if they got rid of Kenneth Lawson Jr. They go, oh, well, they're doing bad and too bad they can't try Jr. What a mess up. But, they would have had to cut Jr., and at the end of the day, the most impactful guy they could have gotten in free agency with their resources was probably Bismack Biyombo, who's on the team now. So, there's that. But also with Taylor Jenkins, back to Taylor Jenkins, he deserves some blame. He's at the end of the day, he's the one, designing the offense, designing the rotations, working with the combinations. He is trying to work through guys going in and out of the rotations. You had three guys out immediately with Ja, Adams, Clark. You knew that, but then you had Santi and Luke. And then when Santi and Luke came back, you had Tillman and Conchar. So, he's shuffling a lot, trying to see what works, but also, too, while Taylor Jenkins could be a blame, and I know people will blame Taylor Jenkins, it's on the players to execute. And there's just not execution right now. So, yes, he deserves some blame, but I think the call from the fan base to fire Taylor Jenkins is silly, and it doesn't really fix anything.
I think it's ridiculous. We were just talking about the guy is one of the best coaches, and maybe that he should win the Coach of the Year and all that. He has been hit with as you said, a rash of injuries. He's had to find the right combinations. I know that's part of what a coach has to do, but I don't think this is on Taylor Jenkins. I really do not. I don't understand calling for the head of the coach. The general manager now, I'm not saying he should be canned either. I think Kleiman's done a lot of good things, but he has missed on a bunch here recently. He has taken those shots with those moves in the first round of the draft that worked out before. Finding Desmond Bane was incredible. Getting Santi Aldama seems to be a hit, but he's missed recently. Zaire is just not the guy. 10th pick in the NBA, he's not panning out. LaRavia is a mess. Roddy's okay. So that's more, I think, on management than it is on the head coach and Taylor Jenkins. Yet, I don't think any of them should lose their jobs. Now, if this team starts out 2-23 or something crazy, fans are going to, and rightly so, say, well, come on. That now we need to make a move just to get things a spark in this team, in this organization. So I don't know what happens if this continues to be this bad. It's only 8 games into the season. But what happens, and especially when Ja comes back, if the struggles continue? So I don't think there should be a move, Parker, but do you think there will be a move if the things continue to be this bad?
No, I I mean, I think in terms of a move, I think it'll be more about player personnel.
Yeah.
Rather than.
So you don't think a coaching change would happen
No. And at the end of the day, like the draft, no GM bats 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and
Impossible.
I know with Zaire, it's like, he's the 10th pick, but at the end of the day, with the guys that they were also rumored to go after, but before the draft, they were rumored to go get Josh Giddey or Jonathan Kuminga or Franz Wagner. Like, those guys were already off the board. Like, you can't help that. But with Zaire, when you think, like, okay, sometimes you got to take swings. You got to take swings.
I agree with that.
And Zaire was a swing. And right now it's not looking great. But I see it but also, too, you kind of, people like to think with hindsight, but what about foresight? At the time, people wanted to draft James Bouknight, who's been a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Moses Moody, who's finally playing after year 3. Those are the guys everybody was clamoring for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, hindsight, it's like people could have been like, oh, yeah, they should have just picked Trey Murphy or Alperen Sengun. I'm like, yeah, but were you saying that
Exactly.
3 years ago?
Exactly.
Like, you got to add with, hindsight's 20/20. And also with LaRavia, at the end of the day, you're betting on a 6'8" forward. And, I think they were trying to moneyball the Kyle Anderson signing or the Kyle Anderson situation to an extent because you could not pay 3 guys in your front court between him, Clark, and Adams that can't shoot. And they prioritized, and rightfully so, Adams and Clark. They just got hurt. But they were relying on either LaRavia, Roddy, or Santi to replace Kyle Anderson, and Santi's done that. That's great. But, I understand what the vision with Jake LaRavia. He's a 6'8" guy with a sweet shooting stroke with the potential where, okay, what could he do if he even shot more? But also, too, he has some solid connector parts, but I think the game is fine for him offensively, but I think defensively is where the game needs to catch up for him. And it's evident where he got 3 fouls in 6 minutes against Dallas and hasn't seen rotation minutes since. Did Jenkins pull the plug a little too early? It's early to say, but also too, I don't think the answer is no. I think the answer could be yes. I think LaRavia did fine against Denver and shows some sort of promise as a role player. If the struggles continue, why not give it a try again? If the struggles continue with guys like Zaire or even Roddy, I know people have been complaining about Roddy, but he's been more so the same since last year, and everybody loved him last year. So I don't know what's going on.
I just think, you're a very optimistic person, and that's good to be. I'm just, after a while, I'm going to stop hitting my head against the wall on Zaire. I just don't think he's the right guy. And LaRavia, from day one, I didn't like that pick. But anyway, that's just, I don't bat 1,000 either. I miss on a lot of those too, but I think I'm right with those 2 guys. What do you got, Eli?
Do you think we will see a change in the starting lineup and Kennard become the starter?
I'll say please. I'll say please. And it's nothing against Zaire, just that combination is not working. And the team, at the end of the day, they're 1-7. You got to kind of work some stuff. And obviously, too, I've been beating the drum since the offseason. Everyone's like, get a bench bucket getter, get a bench bucket getter. I'm like, that guy's Luke Kennard, one of the most efficient three-point shooters in the league. Why take the ball out of his hands and have that firepower off the bench? That's where I've stood on Luke Kennard. But at the end of the day, they have him as a closer, and I've always been adamant, okay, in this Ja Morant suspension right now, Kennard needs to be a closer. But at the end of the day, they're starting so slow, especially offensively. Maybe having Luke Kennard there instead of Zaire Williams opens up the floor where you're taking pressure off of Desmond Bain.
Mm-hmm.
You're taking pressure off Jaren Jackson Jr. You're taking pressure off Marcus Smart to allow him to get going and get accustomed to the system enough where he's impacting the offensive side of the floor. So, whatever you think about Luke Kennard defensively, I know he has his faults defensively, but how much better defensively has Zaire Williams been than Luke Kennard?
Yeah. No, you're right. But There's a lot more we got to talk about. We'll have you back on sooner than later. We love having Parker Fleming on. You follow him on Twitter at Paca_Flocka. And again, real quickly, tell everybody again how they can get in touch with your content and hopefully, again, raise a lot of money for St. Jude.
Yeah, just follow me on Twitter or X, however you want to call it, at Paca_Flocka. It's way easier than just saying my URL on here. But you can open it, you can subscribe and get it by email, or you can open it in the Substack app, or just look on Twitter. But yeah, again, it's free, and subscribers, they don't get any extra content or anything. They just have the satisfaction knowing, hey, this money is going towards a good cause. So that's what St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So that's about the nuts and bolts of it all.
Keep up the great work. Say hello to your wife for us, Parker. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you now. Great stuff. Really good stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff that he continues to do with that. Memphis Barbecue Supply, folks, Thanksgiving is just around the corner. And if you are in charge of the turkey, you don't want to disappoint. You can't screw up the turkey. You just can't screw up the turkey. If they've put you in charge of that, you want to make sure that you get it right. And you can get all the supplies that you need at Memphis Barbecue Supply. You can get, of course, in whatever way you're cooking. Say you're smoking it, if that's the way you're going, which is what I think is absolutely fantastic. I've done that on the Big Green Egg ever since I had it. Well, they've got your charcoal. They've got your different woods, that whichever one you want to use. I think I've used apple. Every time I've ever done it, I've always gone with the apple wood to smoke that turkey. But they've got the brines, the injections, all of that stuff to make sure that that meat is moist. They've got all the different things you need to make the cook as easy as it could possibly be. You'll find it all at Memphis Barbecue Supply Company, 7041 Stage Road. MBBQsupply.com is their website. You can order online. You can check out the inventory. But even if you're just cooking in the oven, you still need the brine and all that other stuff. They've got all of that for you. Plus, if you've got questions on how to do cooking that turkey, they've got guys in there that are experts in this. And the first time I ever wanted to do it, I went in there and I started asking Jimmy questions. What do I need? How do I do this? What should I do here? How long to cook it? All these things. Answered all the questions, and it's been fantastic every time that I've done it. Memphis Barbecue Supply. Get 7041 Stage Road.
Jimmy knows what he's talking about. Believe me. All right, we'll take a quick time out. Come back, wrap up hour number 2. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey, everybody. That to-do list for the holidays? Well, you're going to want to write this down. Go to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. A lot of these new Silverados have red tags, and Kevin and Jeff said they'll get you financing as low as $1.9 or $2,000 cash. You can get one of these new Equinoxes with financing as low as $1.9 or $1,000 cash, and your good credit deserves it. And look, I'm out here in Olive Branch, and All-Star has any new Chevy you want. Tahoes, Trailblazers, and a lot of families I know love these new Traverses with all the cargo space and third-row seating. And so can you. And do more together this holiday season. Military, teachers, college students, healthcare. You get $500 bonus. And if you want certified pre-owned Chevys or any pre-owned car, All-Star has a lot full. Silverados, Ram trucks. Here's a Nissan Rogue, Lexus, Honda, Suburbans, Jeeps. If it's not here, just ask Jeff and he'll find it for you. Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah or Bartlett or even Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch, people. So find new roads to All-Star Chevy today or go to allstarautogroup.com.
It's all net. It's through the goalposts. It's a line drive over the center field fence. It's in the cup for a birdie. Your house has closed. All great things to hear, but you need real athletes to have success, or a realtor with fine-tuned business abilities to get you to the closing table with what you want when you want it. I'm Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and my clients have told me that I am that type of real estate athlete. My goal is to not only fully protect my clients, but to also have a winning transaction. I adapt to whatever the field conditions are. Rain, sleet, snow, bad inspections, low appraisals. Whatever happens, I'm on it. That's why people often say that when you want the job done, call Shell Done. Find out about my highly successful strategic marketing program with the Shellbucks option, and you will want me to be your point guard, your leadoff hitter, or your quarterback. I'm reachable at 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. At Shell Done Rosengarten, 682-1868 or memphisrelocate.com. Do it now.
Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. I like putting a spread bet together with the over for my parlays, and anytime player touchdown always has me on the edge of my seat. So if you're ready to do the same, visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $5 pregame money line wager required. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. It expires 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
How long has it been since you heard the term being overstocked? Well, it's happened at Family Leisure. Yep. That means you get the savings, like select patio sets that are up to 50% off. If you need a play gym, you're in luck because they're also overstocked and start at under $2,000. Pool tables and game room items up to $700 off of in-stock items. Saunas, massage chairs, arcades, even theater seating. Special financing is available with free delivery. Family Leisure is extending sale pricing on all in-stock hot tubs and swim spas. And if you need supplies to close up your pool for the winter, Family Leisure has them up to 30% off. It's been a while since you've heard of an overstock sale, but Family Leisure is right in the middle of one. Huge deals and a huge overstocked inventory. That means great savings for you. It's happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. Roofing and siding, gutters too. We're the pros you can trust to get it done right. Call on us. 5-Ash Roofing, the name to know. 5-Ash Roofing, the only way to go. 5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. 5-Ash Roofing.
Is that not the corniest thing you've ever heard? Can you believe I paid good money for that silly jingle? Well, the experts say make it memorable, and I think I got my money's worth. 5-Ash Roof Services, proud partner of the Memphis Tigers and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. 5-Ash Roofing, 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Now, back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
A couple of texts here on the Sports 56 listener line talking about the whole high school boys team versus the Aces. Somebody texted, says a 6-foot man would dominate a 6'4" girl. No. Another one says Clay Travis, in my opinion, is a legend in his own mind. Clay Travis's credibility on any subject on a scale of 1 to 10 is a -5. What an interesting human being. God bless him.
Yeah. Again, forget about the dude because I'm not a fan of the dude. I'm just saying the actual debate of the topic. Again, Barlis just brought up a great point. East High School, several years ago, state championship team included James Wiseman, Malcolm Dandridge, and who else did I say? One of the Lawsons. They would physically, at 16, 7, whatever, they would clobber the Las Vegas Aces. I don't even know how many shots they wouldn't get shots off underneath. They'd have to be bombing threes. And
they would get up and down. I'm sorry, they would get up and down the court. They would beat those guys.
I'm going to ask Penny that. I'm going to ask Penny, and as long as he's got a shot of truth serum in him, and Penny shoots from the hip, he's very honest. I'd like to ask him that, what he thinks. And again, without feeling you're if you say something like that, it's sexist. Because it's not. That's not what we're saying. This is a good debate. You have your opinion, and that's fine, and you're entitled to it. I have mine. I think that East High School team would have rolled over the Las Vegas Aces.
I would bet on the Aces every time.
Wow.
100% of the time.
Travis would lose $1 million, in your opinion.
Yes.
That guy has $1 million. Wow.
Well, he's got a lot more than that.
Hey, you don't have to like the guy. I don't like the guy, but he's made a name for himself, and he has made a lot of money. He's made a
lot of money.
Boatload of money.
Skip Bayless makes a lot of money.
Of course, he's an attorney, too. So
Stephen A. Smith makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't.
But Travis was just a local guy.
I don't like those guys. It is what it is.
I know.
They found their thing, and they've made a lot of money doing it. Good for them.
Right.
It's awesome for them.
They're polarizing figures.
They're trolls.
But people either love them or hate them. The guy from Barstool's another one, Portnoy. Portnoy I actually like, but I like his pizza reviews. So, again, I don't get into the politics of these guys because I hate talking about that, and I don't want to talk about that. But as far as pizza reviews, I enjoy them. I laugh every time.
Moving can be stressful, but the folks at Black Tie Moving, well, they'll take the worry and stress out of the process for you. You want to make sure you get the professionals to help you when you've got a move coming up, and the best professionals to do that are the folks at Black Tie Moving. All you got to do, give them a call, 901-316-6196, or you can go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. Talk with the folks at Black Tie Moving. They work with you coming up with a plan for your move that fits both your needs and your budget as well. And you will get that no obligation quote up front, so you know exactly what it's going to cost before you commit to anything. Plus, during the move, you've got a moving concierge there to answer any questions that you have, available 24/7 to you, so you don't have to worry about things. You know your stuff's going to get where it's going, no problems whatsoever. You can focus on other things, whether it's across town, whether it's across country, it doesn't matter. The folks at Black Tie Moving are there to help. Again, 901-316-6196 or blacktiemoving.com/Memphis.
Big games across the board in college football. It's week 11, week 10 in the NFL already underway. And coming up next to open up hour number 3, handicapper extraordinaire, our buddy Brandon Lang will be with us to talk about some of the big games, handicap some of those big college football and NFL games. And then later in hour number 3, we'll give you a chance to win a great prize package with 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Here at Memphis Barbecue Supply, we have everything you need for your Thanksgiving feast. If you're smoking, deep frying, or putting that turkey in the oven, we got over 20 different turkey injections and brines to keep your meat juicy and moist, with brine bags and buckets, and 308 different rubs and sauces to choose from. If you're in need of fuel, Memphis Barbecue Supply carries 9 different types of wood chip, chunk, mini logs, and logs of wood, and over 4 tons of wood pellets in stock. And don't worry, we also carry thermometers, injectors, and all other sorts of gadgets that you might need to simplify your cook. And for any questions that you might have, our knowledgeable staff is always eager to help. Memphis Barbecue Supply is located at 7041 Stage Road in Memphis, or you can order online at mbbqsupply.com. Follow us on all the social media platforms for recipes, new products, and barbecue news.
I feel good shopping at DriveMax. DriveMax, you get value.
Need a car that screams I feel good? DriveMax has it all. From cars to SUVs, find a tightly inspected used car that'll have you dancing all the way home. Call 901-664-2424 or visit DriveMaxApproval.com.
DriveMax, I got approved.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just one pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Experience the taste of Italy at Little Italy's newest location in East Memphis at 6300 Poplar. Little Italy has great Italian food for all your friends and family, and it's all your favorite dishes from lasagna to rigatoni vodka, Alfredo, even lobster ravioli. Try East Memphis Little Italy's very generous calzone, hot from the oven and stuffed with your choice of meats and perfectly melted cheeses. To celebrate East Memphis Little Italy's new location in East Memphis, purchase any 18-inch pizza or any entree and get a complimentary dessert. Either a free mini cannoli or a free slice of New York cheesecake. East Memphis Little Italy wants to spoil you with a piece of Italy you can feel, taste, see, and enjoy, and eat. East Memphis Little Italy, 6300 Poplar, hidden in back at the corner of Poplar and Massey. East Memphis Little Italy brings Italy to you.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah. Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Actually, it's really good right now on all the major inbound routes. There's still a little bit of volume out here from time to time trying to get out of Collierville, headed towards Memphis on 385 Billmores Parkway. There's been more radar out here in the last 45 minutes or so than there has been accidents up and down I-40. Watch for radar, especially coming in from Fayette County. Hey, get rid of that old junk car by calling Memphis for junk cars. That number, it's easy. It's area code 901-258-8999. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Witness the power.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back. Final hour for us today. Final hour for us this week here on Sports 56 Mornings. Getting you set for the sports weekend. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you on this Friday, November 10th, 2023. We are in the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Their overstock sale continues at 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Currently, it's 50 degrees. We got some clouds. We also got a little bit of sun peeking out right now. Looking at a high today of about 61 degrees. Tonight, a few clouds with a low of 45. We did have some early morning rain today. And then tomorrow to start your weekend, considerable clouds early, then some decrease in clouds later in the day, high of around 63. Oh, by the way, tomorrow is officially Veterans Day. And since we have no show, we'll use this time to salute all our great servicemen and women, our veterans out there who have served this country so proudly for all these years and have kept us safe. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for your service. Brandon Lang will join us in just a few moments. The University of Memphis Tigers, it's a busy couple of days as tonight, they'll play on the hardwood against the Missouri Tigers. Memphis and Missouri in a battle of Tigers, 8 p.m. from Mizzou Arena in Columbia, SEC Network, 8 p.m. Tomorrow, it's the Memphis football team at 12 o'clock Central, 1 o'clock Eastern, where we'll be in Charlotte. They'll take on the 49ers for the very first time on the gridiron. Memphis is now a 9-point favorite at the latest odds I looked at. I know it was at 9.5 at one point. Memphis a 9-point favorite in that game. We did not pick that game yesterday, Eli, on a pick six, but your thoughts on Memphis going into Charlotte and taking care of business?
They should be able to, but I'm interested to see the defense against a bad Charlotte offense. I've seen the defense now get lit up by some offenses that were pretty good, and I just want to see is against a bad offense, can the defense at least stop them, or is the defense really just that bad?
Yeah, Matt Barnes, we were talking to him yesterday, and he was taking the sole blame for what they did. He said, I tried things, I did this, I did that, and it's on me. It's on me. So you're right. They're playing against an offense that is not strong. Now, they have a couple of quarterbacks that they'll use. They could use as many as 3. One's more a passer, one's more a runner. Last week in the overtime win against Tulsa, you had the kid who was the walk-on who came through and was able to pass them to the win. They've won 2 of their last 3. They're by no means a great team, but they're a team that is completely different from last year with 70 new players. It's sort of what it's not sort of what is happening at Colorado. It's exactly what's happening at Colorado. Colorado, Deion Sanders came in and revamped the whole roster. That's what Poggi did with Charlotte. Now, granted, they don't have the type of money and the resources and everything that Colorado has, but they have a pretty decent NIL. There's some money that they're able to spend at Charlotte. In fact, rumor has it's more than what Memphis has. So he's gotten some players from some, and you talked about it during our Tiger football report, about some of the players that they have this year, where they were able to get those players from Power 5 schools. But again, on the field, not a good offense. To me, in this league, you're playing against teams that mostly have really good offenses and struggle defensively. And when you have those type of teams, no matter how far you fall down, Eli, you could rally if you have an offense, if you have a prolific offense, and most do. They don't. And against the pass, they're pretty good, but they've given up a lot against the run, and on offense, they struggle. So if you can get those guys down big early, it's going to be tougher for a team that has a struggling offense to come back. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah, they came back from 7. They did come back from 17-0 down last week
against Tulsa, but you're right, they did. I mean, they're getting better, and they use those variety of quarterbacks to help them. But still, overall, when you play,
and last week was only one quarterback.
They only used one the whole entire game?
They took every snap.
Well, they expect them to use 2 or maybe 3 in this game. They're preparing for that, I can tell you that much. But
Ryan Silverfield told us that. But again, I don't know if the Jones kid was hurt last week or whatever.
Was he one of the suspended players?
I don't know. I don't know for sure. Again, you get very little information. He's listed on the depth chart this week, but as Ryan Silverfield said, who knows about depth charts? So
yeah.
But but last week it was just the one quarterback that took every snap.
It is Friday. It is time for Brandon Lang.
It's time to handicap this week's action. Joining Greg and Eli is sports handicapper Brandon Lang, subject of the movie Two for the Money.
It's P equals P. You walk into a strip bar and you let her take your hand and drag you into that champagne room. Pressure equals problems. You just can't do it. And I'm telling you, pressure equals problems in the NFL.
Get Brandon's plays at BrandonLang.com.
There's 4 things you can't handicap in sports. There's 4 things. Penalties, turnovers, player stupidity, and coaching stupidity. What are they smoking?
Also, listen to Brandon with Clay Harbor and Cam Rogers on the Believe Podcast Network.
You're on a dating app, and they don't show a body picture. Run! Run!
Now, here's Brandon with Greg and Eli.
Oh, he's so entertaining. The lovable, the colorful Brandon Lang joining us on the program. Hey, B. Lang, how are you?
Do you remember the movie Willy Wonka?
The original?
Yes, the original. Not the stupid,
not the Johnny Depp one. Yeah, the weird one.
God, just the Gene Wilder, the original.
Yes.
All right. And we were all kids when we watched it, and we felt so bad when Charlie didn't get that last ticket, and you were pissed, and poor Charlie and the grandpa, and you're like, oh, my God, you can't take it, and this and that. And then the last one's a fake, and Charlie buys it. And you just knew. When Charlie went in and bought that with that last little coin he had, he's walking down the sidewalk, and he knows that there's a ticket still out there. You knew Charlie had it. You knew Charlie had the golden ticket. You're like, yeah, Charlie had it. I'm telling you right now, my girl, I have the last golden ticket. When I tell you guys that this, how she fell through the cracks, and I know how she fell through the cracks. Believe me, it's very apparent how she fell through the cracks. I mean, she still gets residual checks from Son of a Woman because she had a little part in it, and it's like $4.95 or whatever. But the last boyfriend that she had before me cheated on her at the end of it. She basically just said, "I'm done with men. I'm done with." Listen, she's 5'8" and a dime piece, and cultured and fashionable, and I've said on your show before that like two of her last three boyfriends were billionaires, not millionaires. Billionaires, because she basically said, I'm not getting serious about it. Nobody, every man cheats. Every man's a player. Every man's a cheater. So she just bawled out she bawled out. And I didn't tell this story last week because we were into the romantic candle part of the story of the stairs and the candles and that, and just blew her away. I'm going back to a different story now because this is actually funny. And then she meets me, and she's like, for the first time in life, she met a guy with substance who doesn't cheat, who's not a player, who's into poetry and cards and love and flowers and this. And she's just like, damn. And he's 6'4", and his body's shredded, and that's something that helps too. So when she flew into the airport, you have to understand something. When this woman flew into Vegas before, she didn't even know Vegas was in Nevada. She thought Vegas could have been in Arizona, could have been California, could have been Utah. She didn't know. She flies in on a private plane, gets a helicopter to the hotel. She never even saw a car or a taxi or an Uber. So she's like, and then her man's gambling and throws her a $25,000 chip and says, there, go shop. I mean, so when she flew into the regular airport, she had no idea where she was going. Some dude told her Terminal 4. So she calls me on the phone and says, babe, I'm in Terminal 4. I'm like, babe, there's no Terminal 4. There's no Terminal 4. There's 1, 2, and 3. So she had no idea where she was going. So she gets down to baggage claim. I'm like, babe, when you get your bag, I need you to go over and walk straight across to departing flight because there's no one there. It's a little secret. You don't go to passenger pickup where there's 8 million cars. You go to literally departing flights. It's just an escalator up and it goes, you're telling a girl that flew in private with helicopters to try to find departing flights in a regular airport she ain't never been in. And and she hadn't slept for 58 hours. I mean, so she's dead tired. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. She's dragging whatever. I mean, it was just comical. And then the other day she goes, where is Las Vegas, by the way? Is it in like Arizona? I'm like, oh my God, hysterical. Guys, when I tell you that it's just epic that when you think about it now, that you're asking a woman to go to the regular airport she's never been in to walk over to departing flights. And she's like, this man got me carrying my luggage, dragging my luggage in my neck pillow down some escalator, trying to go to departing flights. It was just, when we talk about it now, it's just hysterical. And that leads into the purity of her still trying to understand the point spreads in the games because, dogs and favorites and what they got to win by. And I had Southern Miss last night, and I had Southern Miss +9 over Louisiana. And I couldn't believe that Southern Miss, although they're 2-7, they had beaten Louisiana 10 straight. 10 straight. Wow. Last 10 meetings, Southern Miss has won outright, and they were getting 9. Now, listen, they're 2-7, and Lafayette's got talent, and if you watch the game, Louisiana should have blew them out. At the end of the first half, Louisiana had first and goal at the 5, second and goal at the 2, third and goal at the 1, fourth and goal in the 1, and didn't get in. And so at halftime, they go in 14-14. We should have been down 21-14. In the third quarter, they get down there first and goal again at the 5. Second and goal at the 3, third and goal at the 2, fourth and goal at the 2. They don't get in. And even with that being said, she's watching the game on her phone, and she goes, babe, your game's killing me. Because she this is the purity of this woman, guys. She acts like she's got $1 million on the game, and she's going absolutely crazy. So I'm on the phone with her, and I go, babe, we're in great shape here. There's 6 minutes to go in the game. We're up 7. We're getting 9. The game's the winner. You can go to bed, relax. It's a winner. Everything's fine. She's like, okay, I'm going to sleep good now. Now she goes to bed. The second she hung up the phone, Lafayette scores on a 60-yard touchdown pass. Now it's 21-21. Now what happens? Third play on the next possession, Gore fumbles, and they scoop it up and run it in for a touchdown. Now Louisiana's up 7. Well, guys, you know what's going to happen here. You know once that happens, now you're going to get Southern Miss come out, go 3 and out. Louisiana gets the ball. They, go down and kick field goal. Now you need a backdoor to cover. She goes to bed thinking it's the winner, and I'm sitting there ready to break a TV, a chair, whatever I can get my hands on. So this drive, this next Southern Miss drive is everything. And, guys, there's 5.5 minutes to go in the game. So, you know, if they go 3 and out, I'm dead.
Yep.
And she's asleep now. And I guarantee you, had she been awake, she would have been psychotic. She wouldn't have slept. She'd have gone into – she has a high-pressure job, too, guys, with this equity company she's with. It's stressful. She'd have went crazy. So I'm glad she was sleeping. But Southern Miss went right through them, scored, and then held them to a field goal in OT and scored a touchdown on OT and won the game outright. They've now beat them 11 in a row. And it's one of those games, guys, where you handicap it, you look at it, you go, this is just too easy. And the only thing that stopped me from going down to Circa and betting $100,000 on Southern Miss is that they were 2-7.
Yeah.
But it's amazing, these stats that I come on your show and I talk about these stats and these trends and things you abide by. And people go, well, they're just numbers. They're just trends. Well, say whatever you want. But a 2-7 team that had beaten a team 10 in a row and got 9 points figured out a way to now beat them an 11th straight time. And it's unreal how then you watch the game. And I swear to you, Louisiana Lafayette should have won the game by 3 touchdowns. I swear to you. I was on the wrong side of the game. Should never even have won the game. And then you scratch your head, go to bed going, wow, 9-point dog went outright. That's crazy. And this is this business that I'm in. This is this business where you just watch these games and shake your head and go, wow, unbelievable.
All right, we got some good games in college football. 2 top 10 matchups this weekend. Georgia and Ole Miss. Georgia, a double-digit favorite at home.
I may hate myself for this because every time I go against this Georgia team, they bury me. And every time I go with them, they don't cover. Like last week. I thought they'd send a message. Missouri probably had a chance to – listen, Missouri should have beat them last year in Missouri. Mm-hmm. They should have. I think it was 23-21 with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and Missouri needed one stop, couldn't get it. Georgia went down and scored. So I'm thinking, you know what, Georgia at home, they're just going to pin their ears back and unload. They couldn't shake them. They couldn't beat them. They couldn't. And so when I look at Missouri and I look at Ole Miss, I think, gun to my head, Ole Miss has a better offense than Missouri. I think Ole Miss is a better team than Missouri. And I don't know how Ole Miss isn't going to cover this game. I just don't. I think Ole Miss is a pretty good football team, and I just don't see them losing this game by double digits. Unless Lane Kiffin gets stupid and starts going for it on 4th and 2 from his own 30-yard line, which he's been known to do. So I'm gonna go with Ole Miss.
Yes, which he has been known to do. That's the scary part. So but I'm with you. I'm with you on that play. How about Michigan, Penn State? We got Michigan, all the controversy going to Happy Valley. Michigan, a 4-point road favorite. I can't even imagine the last time Penn State was a home dog, unless it was to maybe Penn State or Michigan to Michigan or Ohio State last year.
Listen, I made no bones about it. I don't like Jim Harbaugh. I just don't. Any man from a fat. And by the way, my girl took me to Hugo Boss. I could be a model with the stuff she put me in. Listen, I knew how to dress before. I did. I'm pretty fashionable. She even says, "Yeah, you're pretty fashionable." But if you've never had a chick take you shopping, you have to do it. It's one of the greatest things ever in the history of mankind because they just have an eye for it, and I feel good in my Hugo Boss stuff, especially with this shredded body of mine. But Jim Harbaugh, I can't stand people who tuck a sweater into your pants. The sweater is supposed to hang outside the pants. You don't tuck sweaters into the pants. You just don't do it. It's a bad look. I can't stand him, guys. I just can't stand him. It's just something that irks me the wrong way. And then now, as we talked about on your show last week, he's so guilty. He's so guilty. So it's going to be interesting. Now they're talking about taking it to court and taking it outside the NCAA. I mean, he's such a worm. He just is. So based on that, although I think Michigan's the right side, of the game, just because he can't beat Michigan or Ohio State. When we saw them fail miserably at Ohio State, I just think that I'm going to take the home dog. I am. I may regret it, but I can't root for Jim Harbaugh in this game. So I'm going to take.
It's a spite pick, man.
You talked about Missouri in the game last week against Georgia. Missouri hosts Tennessee this week and is a home dog against the Volunteers.
Yeah, that's a tough game. And by the way, that Penn State at home plus the points was going to be the slap game. But guys, it's no longer the slap game because I did something pretty stupid the other day, and she said, "Babe, this isn't the slap game. I got a special little paddle for you for what you did to me the other day." She said, "You're just going to have to." She just said, "It's the paddle game. It's the deep paddle game. It's not the small paddle game. It's the big paddle game." I did something pretty stupid. I'm not going to tell you what I did. It's between me and her, but she says you're going to get beat for that one. She says mommy's going to, so just so you know, it's the paddle game.
Wow, so that's the paddle game. All right,
and we'll get to that game in a minute. But I'm going to go with Missouri. I know that they struggle in the run game, and Tennessee's got that stable of running backs, but I just feel like Missouri at home is the right side of the game based on the showing. I am a little worried about the letdown after the Georgia game and coming back home, but I just don't know how good is Tennessee. I don't think we know that yet. So I'm going to take the small little home dog.
Rivalry game, Miami and Florida State. Florida State in the hunt for the playoff. They're undefeated. 14-point favorite in a rival game, but I like Florida State minus the 14. Is that too many?
Yeah, this is to me is the toughest game I was handicapping all week long because I don't know if we know how good Miami is, and we know how good Florida State is. And Florida State hasn't had that tough a schedule. Yeah, first game of the year LSU, they beat LSU, but I just feel like with these two teams and you recruit in the same, all these kids know each other, all these kids played against each other in high school, but you just have some ungodly numbers with Miami. 10-3 against the spread as a dog in this. 7-1 against the spread away. They're 5-1 against the spread as a dog after scoring 6 or fewer points in the last game. Florida State's 0-10 against the spread. And coming off a win as a favorite. When facing a team coming off a loss as a favorite. Let me say that slow so you can follow along in your programs. Florida State in their last game was a favorite. Miami in their last game was a favorite. So Florida State's 0-10 against the spread if they're coming off a win as a favorite, and they're facing a team that's coming off a loss as a favorite. 0-10 against the number. I can't go against that. Give me Miami plus the points.
You've been, every week we talk about Memphis, and you just say, go with the over. This week they're playing a little bit better defense, and they're playing a bad offense. Still going over with Memphis?
No. This one goes under.
Okay.
You got to know when. You got to know when to get off the girl you're taking to the dance. She's been really good to me the last few weeks, but you know what? I'm not going to the dance with the over. I think you're exactly right. I think this game goes under the post until Charlotte can't score. Their offense is horrible, by the way.
Do you think Memphis covers -9, Brandon?
Yes, I do. I don't think you can go against Memphis right now. I don't. You know, Charlotte's 1-6 against the spread when coming off a straight up and against the spread win. I just, look at Memphis, 45, 59 points in the last 3 games. This offense is rolling. So I would lay it with Memphis before I took it with Charlotte.
NFL, I know you love those home dogs. Jacksonville's at home. They're getting 3 against San Francisco.
Why does this feel like a trap game? Why does it feel like a trap game? You're getting Debo back. You're getting Trip Williams back. So you're getting your 2 best players back, finally. And San Francisco's laying 3. And so, it to me, it's like you want to play Frisco, but here's my problem. I think teams have caught up to Brock Purdy. And what I mean by that is that in the NFL, you're basically saying, are scouts that stupid to miss a guy who's the last pick in the NFL draft to have the success he had? Or is it the system that defensive coordinators have caught up to now, and now they're bringing blitzes and disguising coverages, and this kid's struggling? And that's what I think it is. I really do. I don't think you can go against Jacksonville. Going back to Week 10 of last year, the amazing stat. Going back to Week 10 of last year, the team in the NFL with the best record is the Jacksonville Jaguars. And so I just don't think you can go. It's hot. It's hot down in Jacksonville. It's an early game. The humidity is going to be on fire. I just don't think you can go against Jacksonville. I'm going to take Jacksonville by the half point, get 3.5.
Another home dog is the Chargers. They're coming off the win over the Jets, which the score looked a lot better than what it actually was because they didn't move the ball very much at all. The Lions coming off of a bye, going out there, giving 3.
Chargers are 1-12 against the spread against a team coming off a bye.
Wow.
Let me say it again.
Wow.
They're 1-12 against the spread against a team coming off a bye. I don't trust the Chargers as far as I can throw them. Yeah, they beat the Jets, but I'm going to tell you right now, the Jets were right there, and they're so bad off. They outgained the Chargers. Yep. Herbert had 133 yards passing. That's how good the Jet defense played. I would lose with Detroit before I took a shot with the Chargers. I don't. Again, Brandon Staley. Dan Campbell, I'm going to root for Dan Campbell. Not a game I love, but the numbers tell you Detroit is without question the right side of the game. 10-1 against the spread coming off a double-digit win. 10-1 against the spread in games when both teams are coming off a win. 6-0 against the spread as a favorite if they were a favorite in their last game. Give me Detroit by the half point, lay 2.5.
Very quietly, Baltimore has been obliterating teams. Cleveland obviously has a great defense. Can Baltimore at home cover 6.5?
Well, it's one thing when you play the Arizonas of the world and the Detroits of the world and the Seattles of the world from the NFC. It's another thing when you start playing teams in your division. And in this case, you place in a divisional opponent. However, they beat the doors off Cleveland in the first meeting 28-3. And to me, the play in this game is the under. I'm not going to touch the side, but I think this game goes under the posted total, just like the first meeting 28-3.
The last week, the Bengals were your paddle game. And they came in easily.
Easy money.
Oh, I thought you were feeling the paddle hitting you right there. Yes,
to the paddle.
No, I'm going to give you. Listen, I'm going to give you the paddle game. And she literally said she may go to an adult store to get me the ball gag from Pulp Fiction.
Oh, geez.
Because she said it's going to hurt. She said what you did to me. I heard her feelings. And one thing you don't do is you don't hurt a girl's feelings that has a streak of rage in her. And so she said this is going to sting. So I got to make sure that the game I come with to properly set the tone for what's about to happen to me, because one thing you don't do, don't hurt your girl's feelings from 2,700 miles away. And guys, I'm catching a flight Sunday morning at 7 o'clock and heading back to New York and spending the week with her. Boys, it's going to hurt, boys. And I got a game that I think is a 30-point blowout to soften the blow. But the Bengals, we're not going to get a game like that. Although I was very disappointed in how they played in the second half, because it got a little dicey there. I mean, they cut it to 6, and if they at that point, Buffalo couldn't be stopped. And if they didn't run up the clock, they're probably going to lose that game by 1. And it shouldn't even have came to that. It shouldn't. There's some play calling in there that got me pissed off, and I wanted to fly to Cincinnati and get in front of Zach and say, hey, Zach, we need to have a little talk, buddy, because you did some pretty clueless things there to let Buffalo hang around. I don't like my paddle games to be close.
So what are the paddle game? What's the paddle game this week?
Oh, Dallas. Dallas wins by 40. Tommy DeVito.
So 17's not enough?
No, hell, there was a Tommy DeVito Jr. Danny DeVito's going to be on the sideline with Joe Subs or whatever sub commercial. These Jersey Mike subs.
Jersey Mikes.
They're the worst subs in the world. Oh, my God, they're horrible. They don't warm them up, so you're eating cold subs, and it's like the meat's fresh. That meat ain't fresh, bro.
There goes our sponsorship with Jersey Mikes.
What, Joe, you do? I love Jersey Mikes.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
How about a segue out of that real quick? Oh, my God, you buried me right there. By the way, you're getting whacked for that right there. So let's get you in on the whack, by the way.
Oh, gosh, that's good.
The whack game is the severe B-Lang taking one for the team paddle game is Dallas to beat the Giants by 30. They beat them 40-0 in the first meeting. I don't think the Giants are going to score with Tommy DeVito Jr. You think he's going to go in there and put up 14?
No.
Put up 17? This is a gift. This line should be 24, which they never make it 24. Dallas should beat them bad, like real bad.
Safe travels to New York City. Watch your behind, and we'll talk to you next week.
It's going to get ugly, boys, but you know what? There's no I in team.
Thanks, Brent. Take care. Oh, my gosh. Now we're talking about gags and things like that. It's getting a little risque. It's getting worse. I don't know what it'll be by the end of the season with him.
Well, hey, he might be getting close to popping the question. He may be getting to that point where he needs an engagement ring. And I'll tell Brandon, place you need to go, Genesis Diamonds. The big event starts today at Genesis Diamonds and runs through the weekend. Today through Sunday, they are marking everything down in the store. Already low prices that they come with. They have their guaranteed lowest prices to begin with. Well, now they're taking 20, 25, 30, 35% off of everything in the store. So this weekend, if you have not been to Genesis Diamonds yet, you need to go check it out. But this weekend is a great opportunity to do it and save a whole bunch of money while doing it. Get your early holiday shopping done at Genesis Diamonds. You can, if you've got any special occasion coming up, you're looking for any type of jewelry, go see the folks at Genesis Diamonds. We're talking engagement rings. We're talking wedding bands. We're talking bracelets. We're talking whatever it is. Everything in the store, they're marking it down today through Sunday. Genesis Diamonds, located at the Poplar Commons Shopping Center, Poplar and Perkins Extended. You'll be blown away anytime you go by Genesis Diamonds, but this weekend is even more special because everything is marked down. Go check them out at Genesis Diamonds.
When we come back, we're going to give you a chance to win a great prize package. 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. If you'd like to participate, jump on the Sports 56 listener lines right now. Don't get shut out. 901-360-8255. 901-360-8255. That's next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows, stay up to date with station events, and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
A good friend of mine told me about this awesome place for lunch.
Oh, yeah? What's the name?
Neil's Grill and Bar, where the fat man rocks. Everybody knows Neil.
Where's it located?
It's located in Yorkshire Square off of Quince.
And what's it like?
The best lunch place in Memphis. You know, like real mashed potatoes and gravy. Everything is made from scratch. Monday through Friday, daily lunch specials like Monday, baked chicken, Italian Tuesday, spaghetti, ravioli, Italian spinach, delicious fried catfish, fried chicken livers every Wednesday, Friday, Salisbury steak, barbecue chicken, or if you just want a vegetable plate, the best veggies in town.
What about the lunch price?
Meat and 2 veggies, $8.95. Meat and 3 veggies, $10.95. And veggie plate, $9.95. Big fat boy portions, man.
Man, you're making me hungry.
Come hear the best live local music at Neil's. Eddie Smith plays Sundays 5 to 9, Mondays karaoke, Tuesdays Debbie Jameson, Wednesdays Elmo and the Shades, Thursdays John Williams and the A440 Band at Neil's.
Where the fat man rocks.
Want to play a private country club but only pay daily greens fees? Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis is your place. You can now play a beautiful, challenging course for only $59 plus tax, including cards. Meadowbrook Country Club features champion Bermuda greens and now is available to everyone. A membership is only $350 per month and includes tennis, pickleball, and swimming, plus a great restaurant and bar. Golf Pro Mark can even fix you up with custom-made tricks on clubs. Call 870-394-4186 today for your Tuesday through Sunday tee time at Meadowbrook Country Club in West Memphis.
Hey fellas, Bill Russell at Russell Brothers Fine Jewelers, and this year it happened on October 17th. I had my first gentleman ask me what he should get his special lady for Christmas, and my answer was this: get her something she will enjoy and get her something she will absolutely love. Think about her likes and her dislikes. You might even ask her what she wants. Then, come let us show you the finest, most beautiful jewelry in Memphis. This will be our 38th Christmas, and for many of our customers, they've been with us for every one of those 38 years. They come looking for beautiful gifts, fine jewelry that makes a lady's eyes sparkle, but they also know that they will receive quality and service that is unsurpassed in Memphis. And at Russell Brothers, you can play St. Nick knowing that if you don't make the right choice, our money-back guarantee will allow her the ability to exchange her gift for one that she really does love, or she gets your money back. For 5 decades, we've helped thousands of Santas. We'd love to help you. Russell Brothers Jewelers, 4646 Poplar at Perkins.
Join Jared, Dez, and your Memphis Grizzlies tonight at 7 p.m. when they host the Utah Jazz for Military Appreciation Night presented by Ashley. Get in on all the in-season tournament hype and secure your tickets today by calling 901-888-HOOP or visiting Grizzlies.com.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Okay, this car looks great wrapped around you,
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
The body's a temple, that's what we're taught.
Acura Memphis on Ridgeway at 385, online, AcuraMemphis.com. Brings you this hour of our program. Of course, this weekend, any weekend's a great weekend, or any day is a great day to go by and see the folks at Acura Memphis. If you're in the market for a car, maybe a new car, like one of those beautiful Acuras, maybe a pre-owned vehicle. They've got plenty of pre-owned vehicles, including the certified pre-owned Acuras that you'll find at Acura Memphis. If you go to the website at AcuraMemphis.com, you can get the complete inventory of pre-owned vehicles. You can also get all the information you need about all the different models they've got of the Acura, from the sedans to the SUVs, the EVs that they've got now. You can find that at AcuraofMemphis.com. You can get a trade-in value on your current vehicle. You can talk to a representative right there online. But the in-person experience you get at Acura Memphis is always going to be a great car buying experience for you at Acura of Memphis.
We're going to do 10 in a row here in just a moment. If you'd like to participate, 360-8255, 901-360-8255. This happened last night, very quietly, kind of behind the scenes, but Marcus Smart already making an impact in the community. They had an event that he does. He did it in Boston with the Celtics. It's Marcus Smart's Young Game Changer Foundation, and doing a lot for the youth of our area now. They did a bowling event that was out at Bolero Bowl in Bartlett. They hosted, and a bunch of the Grizzlies were there. A lot of fans were there, and they raised some good money. So good job by Marcus Smart making an impact immediately in our community. Time now for 10 in a row.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
It's the game show that has swept the nation. It is 10 in a row. And we got a great prize package that Eli will go over in just a moment. Just a reminder that if you have won in the last month, you are ineligible. Now, if you have tried and you have failed, you are still eligible. So jump on the Sports 56 listener lines right now. Prize package is...
We've got a couple of Malco movie passes. Got a $25 gift card to East Coast Wings and Grill. Got a $50 gift certificate to 117 Prime downtown. Got a free haircut from Supercuts. And got a $25 gift certificate to Blinds, etc. South.
All right, so here's the question. Pretty tough. College football quarterbacks who have thrown for 12,000 or more yards for their career. College football quarterbacks who have thrown for 12,000 or more yards for their career. Why did I use 12,000? I don't know. I just did. College football quarterbacks who have thrown for 12,000 or more yards for their entire career. 360-8255. That's 901-360-8255.
Get in line, get a chance to win a great prize package, and get behind John. Hello, John.
Hey, John.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right. Again, tough question, but here we go. College football quarterbacks who have thrown for 12,000 or more yards for their careers. Colt McCoy.
Yes.
Cam Newton.
No.
Aaron Murray.
Yes.
Jim Plunkett.
No.
Mason Rudolph.
No.
360-8255. Decent run to start things off. People are panicking as they hang up. Jump on the phone. Like, don't be afraid. Never up, never in, as they say. A lot of cliches we can use. Great prize package on hand for you to win. To somebody to walk away with a great prize package. 360-8255. Again, college football quarterbacks who threw for 12,000 or more yards for their career. 360-8255 is the number, 360-8255.
Again, $25 to East Coast Wings, $50 to 117 Prime, a couple of Malco movie passes, a free haircut from Supercuts, $25 to Blinds, etc. South, all on the line for a winner of 10 in a row today.
All right, so I'm not going to beg. If you want to play, Give it a shot. Step up to the plate. If not, we're going to move on. We've been talking a lot about a busy schedule locally as the Memphis Tigers play tonight on the hardwood at Missouri. The Memphis Tigers football team tomorrow in Charlotte. Ole Miss has a busy weekend as well as they will play Game 2 of the Chris Beard era tonight. They will host Eastern Washington at the Pavilion. And then Ole Miss in football tomorrow between the hedges in Athens taking on the University of Georgia. We got Tennessee on the road at Mizzou in college football. And don't forget, tomorrow night, the Memphis women's soccer team begin the NCAA tournament. They are a sixth seed, despite being the 8th-ranked team in the country. The math just doesn't add up, in my opinion. We had Brooks Monaghan on earlier in the week talking about that, but they are a team that has a chance to go a long way. They do get the home field advantage over LSU, so get your tickets. I know the games were free during the regular season, but I think because it's the NCAA tournament, there is a fee for the tickets, but you can double-check that. Go to GoTigersGo.com, but give them some support tomorrow night over at the South Campus.
Andre is next up. Hey, Andre.
Andre, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. All right. College football quarterbacks who threw for 12,000 or more yards for their career. Ty Detmer.
Yes.
Landry Jones.
Yes.
Sam Hartman.
No.
360-8255. Sam Hartman still doing his thing with Notre Dame.
In year 8. Dan is next up. Hey, Dan.
Hey, guys.
All right, Dan. Colt McCoy.
Yes.
Cam Newton.
No.
Aaron Murray.
Yes.
Jim Plunkett.
No.
Mason Rudolph.
Yes.
Kellen Moore.
No.
360-8255 is the number.
Next up is Mario. What's up, Mario?
Hey, Mario.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Ty Detmer.
Yes.
Landry Jones.
Yes.
Sam Hartman.
Yes.
Derek Carr.
Yes.
Joe Burrow.
No.
Chase Daniel.
Yes.
Geno Smith.
No.
Phillip Rivers.
Yes.
Timmy Chang.
Yes.
Drake May.
No.
How about it, Mario? How about it, brother? Way to
Mario,
go.
Congratulations, sir.
I've been rooting for you.
A winner. The losing streak is over.
Hey, see, Eli, I was just doing this on purpose. I did this because my birthday is tomorrow, so I did this as a birthday gift for myself. Thank you very much.
There you go.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Good job, Mario.
Congratulations, sir. Hold on. Good for Mario. Good birthday. Good. That is a good birthday gift for yourself.
He breaks the
Cubs,
streak.
The curse.
The curse of the Billy Goat was that? Is it?
Yeah, that's Mario's curse of the Billy Goat.
Are we doing second chance?
No second chance.
No second chance.
We're late already. I don't know if he's got any goats in his life. He just needed his birthday to come up.
The first list, Eli, let's see if you can run the table here. Colt McCoy.
Yes.
Cam Newton.
No.
Aaron Murray.
Yes.
Jim Plunkett.
No.
Mason Rudolph.
Yes.
Kellen Moore.
Yes.
Brett Rippon.
No.
That's a yes. Colt Brennan.
Yes.
Jalen Hurts.
No.
Baker Mayfield.
No.
That's a yes. There you go. That's 10 in a row. We do it each and every Friday. Give you a chance to win a terrific prize package. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue. You can dine in, carry out, no contact delivery. Enjoy that delicious slow smoked barbecue anywhere, and they will cater any event you got coming up, no matter how big or how small it is. They've been doing that since they came into existence about 4 decades ago. I was over there the other day. Man, it was delicious. They have a lunch special every day. Get that big old delicious barbecue sandwich with the coleslaw and the sauce on top of it and get a side. Man, it's cheap. It's so inexpensive, and it's so delicious and filling. I mean, absolutely filling. Of course, when you purchase an entree, you can get a third of a rack of ribs. You're going to be really full for just $6.99. Now, you may want to go outside the barbecue family. Well, they have an award-winning catfish plate. They have burgers. They have tamales. Absolutely amazing desserts. All kinds of delicious food, and then the cheese and sausage plates, which I think are the best around. Barbecue nachos. You can get the wings as well. Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville, Germantown Parkway in Cordova, and Goodman Road in Olive Branch. I've been to all 4 of those establishments. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue also has a private party room at the Cordova and the Olive Branch location. So if you want to Go ahead and give them a call and try to reserve time. They will do that for you for a little get-together at Corky's. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, open for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. Final segment coming up. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Here at Memphis Barbecue Supply, we have everything you need for your Thanksgiving feast. If you're smoking, deep frying, or putting that turkey in the oven, we got over 20 different turkey injections and brines to keep your meat juicy and moist, with brine bags and buckets, and 308 different rubs and sauces to choose from. If you're in need of fuel, Memphis Barbecue Supply carries 9 different types of wood chip, chunk, mini logs, and logs of wood, and over 4 tons of wood pellets in stock. And don't worry, we also carry thermometers, injectors, and all other sorts of gadgets that you might need to simplify your cook. And for any questions that you might have, our knowledgeable staff is always eager to help. Memphis Barbecue Supply is located at 7041 Stage Road in Memphis, or you can order online at mbbqsupply.com. Follow us on all the social media platforms for recipes, new products, and barbecue news.
Wow, I feel good. Shopping at DriveMax. 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 You get value.
Need a car that screams I feel good? DriveMax has it all. From cars to SUVs, find a tightly inspected used car that'll have you dancing all the way home. Call 901-664-2424 or visit DriveMaxApproval.com.
DriveMax. I got approved.
Jenkins Floors and More in Hernando is growing. This family business started up 5 years ago with just one pallet, and now they have hundreds. Tim, the owner, gets calls from people everywhere and can sometimes save them up to 50% on wood flooring, carpet, tile, and vinyl. Jenkins Floors and More helps with renovations, home building, and installation. Jenkins Floors and More, number 6 East Commerce Street in Hernando. Also in Little Rock and coming soon to Tennessee. Call 662-469-9350 for more information.
No matter what your past credit, no matter how much you owe on your trade, no matter if you tried to buy at another dealer and were turned down, Sunrise can get you financed. There's never been a better time to trade. Sunrise has hundreds of new vehicles and over a $10 million used car inventory, specializing in cars and trucks under $10,000. Sunrise has the lowest prices and will not be undersold. Bad credit, bankrupt, slow pay, Sunrise gets you financed when no one else can. Check out the inventory and apply online at sunrisememphis.com. The blowout going on now at all Sunrise locations, Covington, Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place, the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Acura of Memphis.
Get them to sign on the line which is dotted.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Gonna put the world away for a minute. Pretend I don't.
Yesterday they gave out the Silver Slugger Awards for Major League Baseball. When are the big awards coming up? Next week?
Yeah, I think they're doing them this coming week.
Our friend Ricky Cobb, who does the Super 70 Sports, which is just has a massive following, he puts or posts a picture of Sports Illustrated magazine cover from 1980. It's the Oakland A's, and it's their starting pitching rotation. It includes the likes of Matt Keogh, probably the biggest name of the 5, Mike Norris, Brian Kingman, Steve McCaddy, and Rick Langford. The amazing A's and their 5 aces. And then his caption is, there were 35 complete games in the entire major leagues this year. The 1980 Oakland A's had 94. Think about that. 94 complete games thrown by those guys. None of them named Jim Catfish Hunter. That's amazing.
The game has changed.
I know it's changed, but man, it's still, when you see that in print, you go, holy moly. That's basically three times as many by one team in 1 year compared to the entire big leagues this year.
There was a pitcher. So I think it was in the 80s. There was a pitcher that had, I think, over 30 by himself 1 year.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me whatsoever.
I can't think who the heck it was.
Do you have a hint? Do you know what team or anything?
Well, I knew.
I know.
Could remember. Then
I'm just trying to help you out here, buddy. I'm trying to help you out. If you maybe give me a hint or something like that. Chris Vanini's reporting. Now, several other folks have reported this, including Pete Thamel. But Vanini says source confirms to The Athletic that the next college football playoff executive director is expected to be Air Force Superintendent Lieutenant General Richard Clark. Clark played football at Air Force. He was included the 1985 team when they were top 10. I guess Ross Dellinger's the first one to actually get credit for reporting this. Clark, who rose to the level of lieutenant general in the Air Force, would replace our friend Bill Hancock, friend of the show, as Bill Hancock announced his retirement after the current cycle of college football bowl. So after this year, Clark would take over during the transition from a 4-team to a 12-team playoff. So again, that looks like to be the guy that everybody is eyeing. Not only they're eyeing him, but it looks like legitimately will be the next guy, Richard M. Clark, connected to the Air Force Academy to replace Bill Hancock. Does anything for you, military guy?
I love military guys.
You better believe that guy knows what he's doing.
He'll run a tight ship.
He's punctual and all that stuff. Absolutely. The Mizzou game tonight, by the way, Memphis-Mizzou sold out. 15,000 will be on hand for Missouri against Memphis. What's interesting is that you have these new array of players for the University of Memphis. Some played at big programs. For example, Caleb Mills started at Houston. Now, Houston started to get, under Kelvin Sampson, the big crowds at their new arena. Florida State, under Leonard Hamilton, not sure what the attendance is, but I would imagine pretty good at Florida State. Some of these other guys, like, for example, Jordan Brown came from Louisiana. I don't know what type of attendance they got. The point I'm trying to make is they did not see this. They did not feel this. They did not witness this Monday night with the crowd that we had at FedEx Forum. I know what they announced, but what was really there, I don't know exactly, but it wasn't 15,000. They are going to experience, and they have done that. Obviously, they've played away games in their careers, but they're going to experience it now as a member of the Memphis Tigers when they walk into that building. This is going to be a challenge for Memphis. But if you are going to be the team that that people expect them to be, and that Penny expects them to be, you're going to have to win some of these big road games to be a high seed by the time March comes along, April comes along. So it would behoove them to start it off tonight against a Missouri team that's good but not great, and Memphis is a 3.5-point underdog in this contest.
Yeah, Burt Blyleven, by the way, it was Burt Blyleven in 1985. He had 24 complete games.
Hall of Famer, Burt Blyleven.
And you said, well, there was how many total this year? 30, 34?
Yeah, what did I say? Yeah, 30-something, 34.
And he had 24 by himself in 1985.
35.
And that's, it's not, now we're going back to the 1800s here where they used to throw a complete game every day. This was 1985.
Right.
And he had 24 by himself.
Right, crazy. Crazy the way that it's changed.
But yeah, it's not, since 2000, I don't even know if there's been anybody that's had double-digit complete games.
That's amazing.
And now, literally, you could lead the league with 2. Like, if you get 2 or 3, you lead the league as far as complete games are concerned.
But again, on Memphis tonight, Memphis, Missouri, do you have a key player or two in mind that Memphis has to have big games from them to win, or is it just a collective effort here?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what this still trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a collective effort. I mean, obviously you're going to look at the guys who, you figure are probably going to be their best players. Jaquan Walton has shown the ability to score. Jones and his all-around game, they're going to need to make shots. The Mizzou could shoot it. It's going to be an up-and-down game. Should be a high-scoring affair. Both teams want to play extremely fast. Should be a good game. Should be a good matchup. And I'm not going to be surprised. I think it is a toss-up game, and I'm not going to be surprised either team winning it.
I mentioned earlier that tomorrow is Veterans Day. Salute to all the veterans and salute to the Marines. Today is the Marines' 248th birthday. I have two brothers, one that has passed. Both were Marines, so salute to all the Marines out there as well.
It's a texter, Randy says, the all-time record is 75 complete games set by Will White in 1879. Anybody want to talk about a record that'll never be broken?
I wonder if Will White underwent any kind of Tommy John surgery.
That's just hilarious. That is funny. Just look back at those things and guys, 60, 70.
Will White.
60, 70 complete games. Literally, I don't even, there were 5 pitchers on the entire roster, apparently. They just went out and just pitched and threw a complete game.
What year was it?
That was 1879.
Can you imagine, hey, my arm hurts. All right, rub some dirt on it. What are you going to do? Amputate his arm back then.
They didn't even know what it meant to have your arm hurt at that point. They just... Guns, more guns. That's where you're going to find at Classic Arms, classicarmsofmemphis.com. Over 700 firearms in stock, from home defense guns, hunting guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, brand new guns, whatever it is that you're looking for. If you're looking to buy, whether you're looking to sell, maybe you're looking to trade in some guns, well, Classic Arms does all of that. They've got all of the top brand names like Remington and Benelli and Beretta and Browning and Smith & Wesson and Colt and Sig and Ruger. All of those you're going to find with the folks and Jay and the folks over at Classic Arms. They're located at 1740 Germantown Parkway. It's right behind Corky's Barbecue there in Cordova off of Germantown Parkway. They do free gun inspections and appraisals as well. They're the only gun importer here in the Mid-South. They guarantee the lowest prices in town at Classic Arms. Again, 1740 Germantown Parkway, and online where you can shop 24/7 at classicarmsofmemphis.com.
Our thanks to John Varlas, Parker Fleming, Brandon Lang for joining us on the program today. And again, a shout out to all you folks out there. We appreciate you. We appreciate you listening. Those who text in and hit us up on Twitter and send us emails, whatever the case may be. You guys are the best. We really appreciate it. Waldo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. We'll talk to you again on Monday, bright and early, starting at 7 a.m. For Eli Savoy and Zach Boyd, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great weekend, everyone.